Jesus James Angleton, the way you spin that story round. Always sharp, just like a tack when you're tracking the price of the dollar and pound. But drop the narrative, that thing that you inherited. Your history homos chariot just pulled up outside. Scott, William, Patrick on the scene, they're breaking up the subroutine. Something's crackling in your brain, and K-Ultra make you go insane. Hey, don't you know we're only on the case for a good time, baby? Took a Rhodes pill, now I'm reading these books for a long time, baby. Honey pots and psyop traps, you can trust the plan until you snap. Slop conspiracy everywhere. History homos clear the air. Close your eyes, what's truth or lie? Hiding in the space between. Reality's a tangled scene. Tune in, you'll know what I mean. Close your eyes, what's truth or lie? Hiding in the space between. Reality's a tangled scene. Tune in, you'll know what I mean. Hey, history homos only on the case for a good time, baby. Took a Rhodes pill, now I'm reading these books for a long time, baby.
And we're live. Welcome back to the show. This week, Patrick and I are going to be discussing at length the coincidental and not so coincidental intersections in the life of Stanley Kubrick, filmmaker, and intelligence, the United States, or the Anglo-American slash Zionist intelligence community.
The Anglo cube, if you will. It's a
Yes.
cube. It's not a sphere. Yeah, who'd have thought? Stanley knew people. He got around.
Yeah.
This I know this.
So
was
the
prompted-
genesis of this episode, by
Yeah.
the way, it occurred on air. If you're an avid listener of the show, you will have literally heard the crystal of this episode form on the Stanley Kubrick Shining episode pretty recently,
Yeah.
where Patrick apprised me of the idea that Stanley Kubrick's cousin was somebody we should look into. and he alluded to the idea that we ought to read a book
For
that
once
sort
in
of
our
address.
lives.
I know, we never do that. And
These
so
books,
we
they
read it.
suck my vital fluids. What do they call them? What's he call them? Or a precious bodily.
Purity of essence. Yeah.
These books, they take me away from the sunshine. But this
But yeah, so Patrick, who's this guy? I don't know. I didn't prior to reading this book. I was not aware of this guy whatsoever. I mean, probably I may have run into his shit before,
right.
but I before I say anything else, before we even say who he is, I gotta say, well put together book, well sourced, and as you will see as we go through the episode, he sort of introduced certain ideas to me that had not even sort of considered, and just stuff I had not looked into whatsoever. And I think for that reason alone, it's a valuable read. Now, what's this guy's name, and what's the name of the
So
book?
so the name of the book, which I swear I only came across because of how fixated we were on the
Minotaur motif
symbolism. Yeah,
in the Shining, yes. Which, by the way, I
absolutely.
have to just jump right in front of right here and
Yeah.
say that within the context of Jungian critique, the Minotaur in a labyrinth is like a symbol that, or it's like an archetype, I guess, that Jung utilized to describe like the mind of a human or somebody. And if I'm
Mm,
not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong here.
I
Minotaur
would never.
within the so the labyrinth would be the human mind, and the Minotaur would be like perhaps trauma or some sort of negative aspect of one's personality that's lurking inside of the labyrinth. I guess that's my best interpretation of it, but
That
perhaps you can yell at me in the emails.
uh don't they better not dare because I agree. They'd be arguing with both of us. I think the Minotaur is a perfectly apt metaphor for anything that young gets into the shadow and so on, the
Yeah,
Minotaur being something that is constantly as easily as you can follow the golden thread out of the labyrinth, the Minotaur can also follow the
right.
golden thread toward you. So something to constantly be evaded, which is something ironically enough, I mean, Kubrick's first production company was called Minotaur.
Minotaur. This is was now we're getting into it. Yeah.
And I mean, getting into the fact that so many of his films dealt with psychological pressure from
Yeah.
various
And also,
places.
I think it's fair to say that it deals with sort of hidden darkness within the human mind that's
Mm.
there and also created by society and
We all have to,
aspects of society, like virulent aspects of society as
yeah,
well.
we all end up answering to the Coca-Cola company, don't we, Scott?
Sure do. But anyway, so yeah, sorry I interrupted you. What is this guy's name? So
Well,
the title
yeah, who is this guy?
and yeah, who is this fella?
Who is this guy? The name of the book for the folks at home is The Minotaur, a Kubrick Odyssey by S. William Snyder. That's Snyder, Snider. He is a fairly prolific author and also runs a podcast of his own. It's The Farm, I believe.
If you
Um,
find his podcast online, tell him in the comments History Homos sent you.
and tell them we are
And that we've read his book.
yes, and we wish him well. So I was on the hunt for anything at all that I could, find about Minotaur symbolism, and I came across this. I gave it a shot on a drive, and pretty early on, it got into the Kubrick's cousin little, and it's such a small part in the book, but it occupied my brain forever.
Yeah, I ended up looking a lot into this as well.
Yeah. So what this initially started as was we're going to do a little, episode on Kubrick's cousin and what a character he was.
Right.
Fella by the name of
To put it lightly.
yeah, fellow by the name of Paul Prevailer. Now, do you want to get into this as just a funny little aperitif a night? No.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad way to approach it. Yeah, so Paul Preveler, I think would probably be the pronunciation Preveler.
Mm,
Um, obviously Polish, Eastern European. I actually think they're from Galicia, but yeah,
Yeah.
Eastern European, a Jewish family that was first cousins with Stanley Kubrick's.
Thought he was Italian.
I don't know that he did because he also like again in the Vincent Buglio's. Oh yeah, I just jumped ahead.
Guess who?
Yeah,
Guess who makes
that's
an
like almost the
appearance?
punchline, and I blew it.
Damn.
Um, and yeah, so when I don't think he necessarily. I think he thought of himself as a Jumba, as like a Mount
Ah,
Lansky fella.
the Jumbo Mensch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fits
Um,
actually.
but yeah, no,
Um,
but no, okay. So Paul Preveler though, he had a pretty typical goon career for the
yeah,
first half of his life.
and the very typical second half of his life, yeah, has been in
Yeah,
jail since.
that's true. Yeah. But no,
So
he spent some time. He went to L.A. at some point after leaving New York, where he grew up in the Bronx as well as Stanley Kubrick did. And
about
I don't
9 years
I
his junior. So Kubrick's the older cousin, we should say.
right.
Um,
But yeah, he became a cop. I think he did something criminal in between then
60,
too.
62 LAPD. He helped helped organize an illegal abortion for one of his
Right.
another boy in blue, which
And
not
that will
yeah,
come in port. That's important to mention here because
yeah.
well, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so he was dismissed from the force with no criminal charges, despite the fact that abortion was illegal in the state of California at the time.
His only
Um,
sin was getting caught, as far as they were concerned, because it was not
Correct.
an unusual
And
thing
also, I
whatsoever.
think it's important to note here the LAPD, also the LA County Sheriff's Department is pretty spooked out too. But also LAPD is known for being very Jack Dragna, the LA mobster, sort of controlled the LAPD at various times.
Yeah, and
So there's all kinds. It's not a good look,
yeah,
guys.
no, any given decade or span of 5 years, there's some like rogue element or unit in any of the whether it be Baltimore, New York, LA, LAPD
Right.
especially. So
LAPD is really
yeah,
bad. It's like
yeah,
known
yeah.
as being one of the most corrupt police. But yeah, no.
So
But I was
he honorably discharged.
sure.
uh, Yet
But then he becomes a
immediate.
bar owner and basically goes around telling everybody that he works for the Meyer Lansky Syndicate.
Well, also he's a private detective and an
Right.
insurance adjuster. So,
Yeah. So he's a
folks,
fraud. He does fraud.
you gotta love it. And for folks who like older
We call that
noir films,
Galician lightning.
it came out of nowhere and it strikes 3 times. Yeah, literally, he tried to kill his wife like 3 times.
Yeah.
Uh, the same one. Just
He also did kill his first wife, if I'm not mistaken.
she
Yeah,
slipped,
he
she
also
fell.
so during this time period when he's like owning this bar, he is also known as like a guy who arranges killing, a mob kill hits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, we don't
Runs
know.
guns too, by the way. I
So
I
I mean,
I want to
I'm
dwell on this. He supposedly buys stolen guns and
right,
refits them into totally untraceable, like good, the bad, and the ugly style. Just picks and
right.
chooses whatever fits.
The
Like
Colt
Tuco.
Navy
Yeah.
receiver with the
I call this the Navy Maker.
yeah.
His name's L. Ron.
Yeah,
Um,
right, yeah.
so and I wanted to mention that he's dealing with jerry-rigged guns for
Yeah.
later when we get to his wife's murder. But sorry, go ahead.
Good point, actually. I didn't think of that. But I was just gonna say, like, again, also like owning a bar, usually they dabble in prostitution and stuff like that. Not to mention again, like the whole being a police sort of vehicle for abortions and like
Hmm.
sort of hush hush, we'll get rid of this problem stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely occupied an important place in the like legal gray area of that city in that time period. Now,
Mm-hmm.
he eventually was apprehended for a very wacky, over the top, almost sensational and
Oh,
the punchline's coming, folks. I
wait.
the one I blew, but
Do
it's
you
like
mean
almost like an overblown sort of cartoonish
yeah.
end to his criminal career, in which he ended up hiring someone to kill his wife and his mistress's husband.
Oh, yeah, that was before. I was gonna say, yeah, he never answered for that.
He never answered
Oh,
for that. That was what he went down for.
didn't he? Some guy was burned alive somewhere.
Yeah, well, definitely he was involved in
Cromwell,
a bunch of that stuff. Yeah.
Cromwell, his
Yeah,
first
that was the
wife,
wife. That was the oh yeah, okay, regardless. But
first
somebody's
mistress. You're right. I'm sorry.
yeah, the mistress's husband got burned alive, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But
I've
either
heard
way,
other Cromwells have not gotten off so easy.
it's true. I was just gonna say though is so anyway, you might be seeing, oh wow, what a wackadoo, crazy, almost made for television way for this guy's criminal career to end. And who's the prosecuting attorney? Vincent Bugliosi, the guy who does theatrical cover-ups.
This was his big thing. This was his first thing. This was a year
This
shy
is
of the Manson
before
murders.
Manson, right? That's
Yeah,
important to note, actually. Yeah.
this is practice.
He
This
didn't
is a
try to
warm up.
cash in on it till after the sales
Years
of Helter
after
Skelter
started
started
to
to
peter
dip.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He was like, I
dude,
need another book.
tell me this couldn't have been an audition for him. I mean, and
I mean, also you
for
got to remember this
somebody.
is the same time period that this happened. That was that shit about the milkman who he thought was fucking his wife, and turns out he did nothing. And then he like stalked him and his family and shit.
Ruin their lives. Yeah. Uh,
Also, he had a
Meanwhile,
mistress that he beat and shit, and like made her have a miscarriage and shit. Speaking of, miscarriages and all that grisly
folks,
stuff.
please treat your treat your Gumars
Kumar,
correctly. Your
yeah,
Goombas and Gumars, please behave. Um,
true.
the it's just so interesting that he is now let's address Cheryl, his murdered wife of 7 months.
Right.
She wasn't 7 months old, she was his wife for 7 months.
Hmm.
Um, she was found shot 3 times, I believe, in the driver's seat of her car, nice
Right.
car, with a couple bucks on her, like 35
Mm.
bucks or some. Uh,
Adjusting for inflation, it's probably like $99 now.
Might have been more than. Yeah, either way, not robbed in any real sense.
Right. A
Shot
real
twice in
Seth
the
Rich
head.
situation.
Well, no, her car was not on fire. Was that the one where there were a bunch of beer cans littered outside of it
No,
after
no,
the
I'm talking
fact?
about
That was
the guy who got mugged in DC at night after
oh,
the DNC leaks.
I always
Of
confuse him
course,
with
yeah.
the
Chris,
journalist.
yeah, Chris, whatever the guy. Yeah, I know what you're thinking of. The one who slammed into a tree and he was, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, not that guy. Go
So
ahead.
nonetheless, shot twice in the head, once in the chest, a grazing wound, I think.
Was it a 22?
25.
Yeah.
She had a 32 pistol in the car with her. On the
Interesting.
opposite side, on the passenger side. Now, this is just from one source that I found this, so please correct me if I'm wrong, folks.
Take the
Two,
Bugliosi book, I guess.
or even better yet, yeah. Spent shell casings on the driver's side. Two unspent shells on the passenger side of the car. Sounds like somebody had a jammed gun. Sounds like somebody's gun wasn't working right.
Somebody wasn't cleaning his gun, yeah,
Sounds like somebody
because
got,
it's a dirty gun.
yeah, they got given a gun that got pieced together in the back of a bar, a cop bar, and told to go to this car with this plate and do this thing. And it might
Few
not have,
issues that may have
yeah.
occurred.
It's just a thought. But she
Bugliosi
died
should have had
shortly
you as an
after.
assisting attorney.
No, I'd be dead. I asked too many questions. The it very peculiar how he was eventually charged. He was charged and uh, it, he was
Yeah,
not the murderer, but
yeah, charges were dropped, I think, is the words you're trying to find here.
right. But
Charges were ended up being dropped due to lack of evidence. Yeah.
So
that tied him to it, even though it
now
was his wife and he was gleeful that she was gone.
he also his wife prior had been hit by two separate cars on two separate occasions, and they drove
Damn, this
away.
guy's got bad luck.
Oh yeah. What else? What else? It's just a an obvious after the fact string of events that you could have known if you were paying attention, but he seemed to skate by without an issue until it got too freaking sloppy.
Yeah.
Um, and so right when
Yeah,
he
how
is
many
process,
he could have killed a bunch of people during this whole time.
I
He could
read
have
a
been a
thing about
clearinghouse for people that needed to get killed.
there was something I read about him being linked to 11 other murders.
Yeah. And that's just
Like,
like conveniently not mentioned in the fucking Bugliosi book, I'm assuming.
yeah, because and this is his own department that he was just fired from, this his own department that he still,
And nobody
knows
knows
people
anything
from.
about him. Yeah, they don't hear from him
Um,
in his bar, literally. By the way, when a cop owns a bar, that's a cop bar.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, it these are all peculiar things, but the timing also just happens to align with Stanley Kubrick leaving America and never coming back. Um,
Yeah.
and frankly, I don't think it's
Directly
directly
connected.
linked,
Yeah, of
but
course not.
I was thinking about this before the book too. I thought he's a guy that knows he could be killed. This whole I don't want to drive fast. I don't want more so the planes. I won't fly thing.
Yeah.
Kubrick is a guy who's watching. You know, he's checking his six, if you will.
Yeah.
And
He, I,
so
I, th- I think it's safe to say that Stanley Kubrick was like paranoid, was paranoid. He like
per,
literally lived his life in abject fear of being killed all the time, I assume, based
as we
on,
should all.
I don't know about that, but no, he like again, it's well known, of course, he never left England after a certain point. Even didn't even go to his parents' funeral, even though they
Yeah,
weren't like estranged in any way. In fact,
no,
like I guess they'd visited him in England like shortly before each of them died, and he
mm,
just wouldn't go back to America to go to their funerals.
probably tried to have the funeral shipped to him.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you really don't want to go. I can understand that funerals suck, but the fact that and it's not even the his cousin, because we should also mention that Paul Preveler, the wife killer, his
Hmm.
father was shot in the face shortly after returning from a vacation in Mexico that Paul had paid for, from
Yeah,
the
he tried to kill his
tens of
dad. Yeah,
thousands of dollars of insurance
insurance
payouts that he'd
money.
gotten from his wife getting hit by so many cars. Uh, and also there was another,
Did we mention that this guy was an insurance adjuster?
yeah.
Like,
So folks, watch the movie Double Indemnity. By the way, you ever see that?
I've not seen that. I know what
It's
it's about though.
exactly
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's in fact it was it's a great movie. Highly recommend. But this is just a primer as to say Stanley Kubrick was not uh sheltered by
Yeah,
any
so the way
means.
that this book sort of starts out is it goes like, yeah, I know everyone when you hear the name Stanley Kubrick, you probably think guy faked the moon landing or whatever. But he goes through all of the evidence for it, which is, when he lays it out like that, he does have a point that it is pretty slim on the evidence as far
Hmm.
as the Stanley Kubrick moon landing, other than the fact that, yes, 2001 A Space Odyssey does seem to have possessed many of the same technologies that the moon landing appears to have, moon landing film, I should say, appears to have. Um,
It
but
was
it's
released
interesting to note
a
that
year prior. It was
2001, yeah, of
the best
course.
trailer ever for the moon landing.
Right. Well, we'll get into a little bit of that with the Kennedy connections in a bit, but I was just gonna say, it seems like during Stanley Kubrick's lifetime, also he did like enjoy playing. Again, the guy's like something of a troll in a way, and he did like to sort of play with like
Cool it.
rumors.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
It's I think like just physiognomically, like he just is a troll. Like
You gotta give it to him. He does not present as Jewish.
that's true. He does look Eastern European in general, actually.
I just mean his manner. He doesn't really.
Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, but again, I think the other thing is that we lack context with is we never see him standing next to anyone usually, and I think
Mm.
he's probably like 5'1", and so like next to any normal sized white
He's always
person,
in the
you'd be like,
director's
what the?
chair,
Yeah,
which adds 10 inches to him. But
yeah.
no, we're
So
not
they
here
say.
to dog on him. We're here to
I don't know.
investigate
There's some
whether or not
reason
he
to
was an
dog
agent
on
of
him,
the
not
state.
after reading this fucking book, man. But anyway, I just want to say though is that there's not a lot of evidence as far as the Stanley Kubrick moon landing thing goes, other than the NASA lenses used on Barry Lyndon, of course,
Hmm.
which I've not seen. I have to check out.
Oh, fantastic. And a further, I don't know how it's barely mentioned in this book, but the fact that Ryan O'Neal, the star of Barry Lyndon, want put Barry Lyndon and Eyes Wide Shut are often stated as being his most personal movies, and they
Yeah,
really do align with this uh aspirationally fixated individual who just
yeah.
works his way.
Feels and they're outside of the system and they're
Yeah.
artificially in it and stuff. Yeah.
Then they get his vital bodily fluids out of him. And just ends the movie being a shell of a man. Still, that's not a spoiler. Watch it; it's very good. And funny enough, the star Ryan O'Neal, bad dude, in the same vein of these other bad dudes that we've been discussing, the kinds that aren't
Mhm.
very nice to their families.
Ah,
Very, very coincidental. Uh, there's further echoes of the kinds of people that Kubrick either knew, was influenced by, read about, might
tried
have
to
heard
work
rumors
with.
about, worked with, was advised by. These people kind of show up.
In the
They're
work. Yeah, I
like
see what you're saying. Yeah.
in the same way that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, a married couple, are used as the main characters in
Right.
Eyes Wide Shut, and the whole Navy thing
Yeah.
being a Scientology reference, and Cruise himself being, and then Kubrick's own freaking daughter,
Or
bless
how
her
about
heart,
as
being a
the
Scientologist.
idea that Jack Nicholson was deliberately chosen to be Jack, who seemingly, and again, this is my take on the film, is that in The Shining, it's there's allusions that indicate that Jack is molesting his son, and I think there's definitely some deliberate casting for Nicholson, given that he is like very tightly intertwined with the whole Polanski Houston scene thing going on. Like, and we'll get more into that in a bit as well.
It was at Nicholson's house
Nicholson's house when
that
Polanski molested the child, yeah, and now has never been in America since.
but oddly enough, Nicholson's one of the few people that Kubrick kept in touch with over the years after the movie. They never worked together again,
He
but
seems
still
like
kept
a
in touch.
entertaining guy to know.
I didn't want to say it, but listen, I'm a Jack Nicholson uh hopeful. I hope that everything is not true about him and he's
Sure,
just
but I
like
mean, like
a regular sleaze bag.
my point was not necessarily. I think maybe he was putting him in that role, perhaps also just, of course, he's a world class actor, but also perhaps to be like, "Hey, maybe think about your role in this whole like endangerment of children like
Mm,
thing, pal.
mm,
Maybe it'll make maybe that a motivation. Who knows what these guys talked about when they weren't rolling film, by the way, for
mm,
like the character motivation and stuff. Because these people, these directors work with actors for hours on end sometimes, and not just
mm.
when the film's stock is rolling.
And
Um,
Kubrick was very, very precious about his actors not uh it's not your movie, it's not your
yeah,
character,
you're
it's
just
my
doing
character.
exactly what I tell you to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, let's move on.
sure.
So the next thing that was immediately intriguing to me, which is again this Minotaur thing we're going to get into. I think this is probably the time we talk about this because it's in the beginning of Kubrick's career. But so yeah, Minotaur. What is this? What is the beginning of this fascination, other than Jung, obviously? Because I believe the book quotes Kubrick as saying that he's a quote devoted Jungian.
Ew.
Um,
Yay.
I like Jung. I wouldn't call myself a
Yeah, I do
devoted
too.
Jungian though. Yeah.
I like Jung a lot.
Anyway, but yeah. So but the other thing is that a little lesser known fact is that is that Kubrick appeared as an extra in a film called For All the Money Can Buy, if I'm not mistaken, or something. Regardless, it's
Um,
a film, a collaborative film, an anthology film, if you will, that was collaboratively made between all of the major artists in the Dada art scene, which is like an offshoot of surrealism. That was, I think, it's more American than the surrealist.
yeah.
I probably is European.
We're talking about the 1947 film Dreams That Money Can Buy, which is
Dreams that money can buy.
quite a loaded phrase.
Yeah.
Dreams That Money Can Buy.
Oh, like drugs. Yeah. What's it called? But yeah. Or prostitution. What's it called? Yeah. So it's a don't watch it.
No,
I took a
no,
minute.
don't
I
watch it.
looked at it for a few minutes. I believe it's on YouTube.
If you're gonna
Uh,
watch it, do it like through a mirror around the corner,
yeah.
wearing
But it's real fucked
glasses.
up, weird. You ever seen? By the way, it reminded me of what's that? That movie where they slice up the cow eyeball and the one eye woman's eye with Salvador Dali made it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
well, it's similar to that, but it's like more New Yorky, I guess is the way I
Mm.
would put it.
They slice open a bum's eye.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
in it, Stanley
and they
Kubrick
put a
and
quarter in it.
both of his first two wives, all the be it separately, appear.
Mm.
And allegedly he appears during the segment of the film that was directed by the artist Man Ray. Now, Man Ray, before you ask, Man Ray is a fake name and he is Jewish. His
Those were
real
neither.
name is Emmanuel like Rezinski or something, and his dad
Uh,
was like, "Oh, change it to Ray so people don't know we're Jewish."
yeah,
And he's just kept it, and then
nice try.
became Man Ray as he went off to like NYU or whatever fucking hippy dippy beatnik school that he went to. Oh, Juilliard, I think, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Mm.
But
Man Ray.
Juilliard.
Yeah, there we are. We're back. Man Ray has there's two distinct pieces of his art that we can trace as being influences on Kubrick.
Right.
He has one piece called The Minotaur, which
Yeah.
is a bare woman's torso, but shadows are cast in a way so that just above her diaphragm is covered in darkness and just
Yeah.
above the
It looks like a
neck.
dismembered corpse
Yeah, looks like a dismembered torso, a la
and
some
beheaded.
things.
We'll get there.
Yes. So that's the Minotaur. Just out of context, folks, look that up. Maybe we'll put it in the thing. Um,
I'm gonna have
another
to like put something over the nipples or something, so maybe I won't. I'll
fair
tell you
enough.
what, it's gonna be in the Substack episode like description.
Yeah, we'll link to it.
I can't put it in the thumbnail, unfortunately, because
No,
it is a woman's
it's
tits. But
lewd.
yeah.
We're not trying to disgrace
But
the
I will
youth.
put it if you go to the Substack page, historyhomospod.substack.com and go to this episode, it will be there for you to see.
Now,
Um,
that and Man Ray's self-portrait,
yeah,
which,
that's a crazy fucking picture,
dude,
dude.
now,
Well, I'll tell you what.
yeah,
This is
pull it
a
up.
semi video. It's true that majority of you listen to this podcast, but it is a video podcast as well. So let's just pull up Man
For those who don't
Ray
know, now you know. Check it
Minotaur.
out. We comb our hair for the show, and we
I
include
shave
visual.
every Tuesday.
I showered this week. Um,
Hang
now,
on. Okay, so I'm sharing screen. Yeah,
folks, avert your eyes if you don't care to see this horror. Ah,
it's kind of tame in today's
yeah.
world, to be
No,
honest.
could just be yeah, could be
But anyway, it
anything.
looks as if the woman has been bisected. And it also has like a bit of what's that word? Pareidoia. You know what I'm talking about?
Pareidoia.
Yeah, but
Uh,
the word is like when something looks like something else. So the idea is that it's a
mm.
obviously a woman's torso, but it's supposed to look like a semi, almost like a what's the guy's did the painting of Saturn eating his son. It
Oh,
kind of looks like
Goya.
yeah, Goya. Kind of looks like a Goya painting of
Yeah,
like obviously Minotaur, but you know some sort of horned entity
yeah,
where the eyes are the nipples.
yeah. Kind of like what's his name? Um, oh, I'm thinking of Masked Balls and Eyes Wide Shut. Oh yeah, that guy Ball. what's
Yeah.
his name? That well, funny, isn't Ball not typically it's
Yeah, that's
Moloch
like it's
that's
Moloch. Moloch. Well, there's so many different things. They're all basically like reskins of each other's deities of various different Canaanite,
dude.
entities.
I was getting so Hebrew Israelite when I was thinking like masked ball, the
Right.
demon god. It's all making sense. It's
You were becoming Owen Benjamin.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Um, I almost
Let me
broke out
pull up
my
the Man Ray
codex.
self-portrait too.
Yeah, I almost broke out my decoder ring.
You're John D. You started talking to the angels about it.
brother. Okay, now we are on quite the hot streak here of
Physiognomy check not needed, by the
on
way. Let me
Man
just
Ray.
check this fella out here.
How's he doing?
He's got half of his
Whoa,
face.
man.
Oh man, didn't Ari Shafir do this recently?
No, that's totally
Shaved half of his beard off.
I'll be honest, it's such a dumb idea. It was probably original to Ari as it was to Man Ray.
You can defend him if you want, but anyway, check this fucking
Oh, I'm just saying it
crazy
probably
heave out.
wasn't given to Ari in a memo by the State Department.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. That guy's kind of, I don't want to say switched on, but he's like definitely actively Hebraic.
He's playing dumb. Let's see.
I think he might just know it's possible he knows who Man Ray is.
Mm. Well, folks today are going to know who Man Ray is because it's those eyes right there that you're staring at that are snipped into the film that Kubrick is plays a extra in,
Right.
and you know,
I gotta get that out of here. I can't keep looking
yeah,
at that.
get him out of town. Uh, tell me you can't see the Kubrick stare in those eyes, though.
Yeah, the Kubrick stare. That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, now think of the Kubrick's. Now think of the John D stare into the scrying stone. Think of that's the look that you have staring into a scrying stone.
Yeah.
And Kubrick gets compared to an alchemist by both detractors and enthusiasts alike.
I do want to
He
pause
probably
here. I
took
do want
himself
to
for
just say this:
something.
the art of film has oft been analogized to a magic spell.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying it literally or metaphorically. I'm not saying it literally is, but you must admit that what it does is it can make you feel like you're not in your body while you're watching. You know what I mean? This just the story could
Absolutely.
kick you away from wherever you are and stuff.
It's
Now, I also want to make an analogy here, and I also want to give myself a little bit of a fucking pat on the back here. Now, we were just talking a little bit about Polanski and the pedophile turn his life took. Although I suppose he never turned to become a
that's
pedophile, whatever the turn his life took, regardless. And I was thinking about the fact that I had when I viewed the Tarantino film. Tarantino often uses this film as magic metaphor a lot.
mm,
Um, and Tarantino made the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which famously is about the Manson murders, but with an alternate history ending, much like he does with Inglorious Bastards, which is a shit movie, by the way. Uh,
apparently he never read Tom O'Neill's book before he did Once
why
Upon a
would
Time in
he?
Hollywood.
I'm about to get why
Okay.
he never would have cared about any of this.
Mm.
Because, and I said this, and I have the date exactly. It was 3 days after the movie premiered. I went to go see it opening night. 3 days later, I taped an episode of the podcast. And that Sunday, the episode was released. And in that episode, I had the take that I think that the point of that film was Tarantino was attempting to use the magic medium of film in order to magically redeem the public image of Polanski, because there is this sort of idea, particularly in Hollywood circles, zeitgeist, the idea that if not for his wife being killed by Charles Manson and co., he wouldn't have gone down this path. Maybe he had become a
Oh,
more dedicated family man because she was pregnant after all. Um, Now, again, based on what we now know, because of research of people like Tom O'Neill to a lesser degree, but also people like Ed Sanders and all the famous people. I must say McGowan, of course. Um,
Rest in peace.
yeah, but I was just gonna say though is so anyway, I said this on the episode, and you can go listen to this. By the way, it's still up, my old podcast.
Check it out, folks.
Not a great episode, but I do have this take in it.
Are you talking about Cinema Apocalypse?
Yeah, but let's.
Oh.
I'm not trying to get people to listen to it or anything, but regardless, I say this take on the show, and everyone else was like, "What? What the fuck are you talking about, Scott?" For the most part, I don't think they kind of vibe what I was saying, but regardless, not 2 weeks later, the Jewish Daily Forward, a newspaper out of Israel,
which you get in the mailbox.
I don't know. I only know that. Well, I only know this because I asked ChatGPT to find out if anyone else had that take.
No
today.
shit.
I looked it up today. Said, yes, the Jewish Daily Forward had that take 3 weeks after I had said this on air on the show.
Scott,
I was the first person on earth to come up with this take.
This is a 5-year later vindication of your take, and I am all here for it, man. Because
it's 6 years. It's from 2019. Around now, too. By the way, I should mention.
Well, has Polanski done it? I mean, he got the pianist in. He got an award for that, did he not?
Well, they're pedophiles, Patrick.
No, it was
the Academy are pedophiles.
No, you're thinking of a different movie, Scott. It's about
the pianist.
The pianist.
No, but seriously though, I think, but okay, so I'm sorry I took that aside. I do want to pat myself on the back for for that fucking victory lap I've got to take here now. But
yeah, because they are freaking casting spells on us.
They are casting spells. That's what I'm trying to fucking say.
They're trying to possess us, Scott. They're trying to change our minds. And it works.
Now, perfect time for me to talk about one shadowy enigma of a guy named John Huston. John Huston, best known for films like
You Like Oranges, Mr. Gidders?
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of John Huston, for the record. But yeah, he plays the bad guy in Chinatown, directed by Stanley Kubrick.
He is the bad guy by Hollywood Town.
He is literally. What's it called? He fucking.
Wait. You said Chinatown, directed by Stanley Kubrick.
I know. I meant to say Roman Polanski.
Polanski.
I know. By the way, those guys are friends, not for nothing.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Playboy financed Macbeth, which of all the movies to make after your family's slaughtered, you do Macbeth.
Well, I mean,
was that supposed to be cathartic?
Sense. It's a sad story.
Yeah, but you can't go running around having them kinds of demons.
Fair enough. Listen,
I really
either
do.
Way.
Here's what I hope. Call me silly. I hope all of this is wrong. I hope.
I don't. I spent too much brain power on it.
Well, I'd rather be wrong and people be okay.
Yeah. But anyway. So John Huston, though, but this is something that's it's a matter of public record, as in the words of Norm Macdonald. But John Huston worked for the OSS during World War II, and he is personally responsible for. Now, some of our listeners are not as switched on as all the others.
They're gonna be.
This might be news to you, but it is a fact that there were no human skin lampshades or wallets or human fat soap that was produced out of dead concentration camp victims during the Holocaust, so-called.
So you're telling me, like every other gift shop I've ever been to, it's all bullshit?
Well, it's a fact. It's a fact that it was deliberately concocted for a newsreel over which John Huston had editorial privilege over, after that he came back to Hollywood and was rewarded with an amazing career in which he also victimized countless people and suffered zero consequences for it.
Golden goose egg, baby.
Yeah. And I also should mention here, this is a good time to introduce the fact that good friend of Man Ray's, this John Huston.
Who's Man Ray? Never heard of him. What's his deal?
Got a weird face.
Oh, yeah? doesn't seem to know how to shave properly.
Yeah, I guess.
Um,
Yeah. He's only got
okay.
half a mirror.
Now, the way we're building this is, I think it's the best way to build it is to just lay this stuff out and you start to see, oh, wait, why do all these people know each other?
Yeah,
What
it's
is
a conundrum.
the official, the first intersectional, and Kubrick was the first intersectional feminist, I want to say.
I mean, kind of, yeah. I mean, his
Yeah,
movies do often deal with the sort of intersection of class and gender, often, pretty often, and race sometimes too.
though, another, if we're gonna plug supplemental study materials for our studio audience, the Lolita Riddle, a fantastic documentary series that
I haven't seen it.
we should link. You sent it to me, motherfucker.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I did, yeah.
Fantastic, and does a great job of, if you've never had the uh
I don't look at the titles of things.
fair enough. That might have put you off.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about the fact that Kubrick somehow is less, um, Kubrick did not do the story of Lolita any favors.
No.
He cut he cut all of the things that, I hate to say this, but Nabokov was kind of pointing to this being a problem and pointing to, well, definitely in Lolita, it's,
I've not read the book myself. I saw the film and was very not enjoying of it, to be honest with you. It was probably my least favorite Kubrick film that I've seen.
well,
Um,
fair, yeah, with
but
good
as
reason.
I understand it, if you like just look on the Wikipedia page of the book Lolita, it's really obvious that the book, the main character, Humbert is a villain of the book, and you're sort of
Yes,
forced to sit through being with him during the course of
yes.
the novel. And it's the whole book, you're sort of like beaten over the head with the fact that this guy's bad, and
Mm,
it's an instructive morality tale, really, but it
right.
told through sort of a sneering
It's
comedic
painful to
lens.
sit through. I could not finish it when I was assigned it in high school.
They had you read that in high school? Where'd you go to
So
high school? Esalen?
it was one of the options, but it's miserable to sit through, and it's supposed to be. But eventually you realize if you give it the time. But all of that is gone from, and Nabokov does some. You really should check out this documentary because it details how Nabokov is sort of planting the hints of what to look out for, what will be, what what presents as a normal person might actually be a pederast.
Mm,
He drops the kind of vernacular that we and the symbolism that we know and use now after that FBI dump, and from
mm,
what, 2017 or whatever.
yeah.
He was sounding more alarms and giving you more guideposts in that book than Kubrick ever did. And that's the peculiar thing.
Yeah, Kubrick almost, that's the thing. It's a comedy, first of all, which is kind of weird. I mean, it's a
Gross.
little, I guess the book has kind of as a comedic tone to it because it's like silly how shitty he is, almost, you know what I mean?
It would be,
Regardless, let's not get into it, but
yeah,
I haven't read it. I can't speak on it. But
let's not.
I've seen the movie, and it's played for him being in love with a child is played as like a what a fucking idiot. Like, you know
Oh,
what I mean? Like, what a fucking simp. You're
he's
supposed
got
to be
no
like,
game. People are just laughing at him like, "What? He can't land a young lady? What a dumbass!" And they're all there with their
now this gets
fucking,
even more complicated when you find out the fact that and this is really only known after 2017 or 18,
yeah,
is that James B. Harris, Kubrick's business partner, first business partner
producer,
primarily,
yeah,
and also his producer for many films, but
up to
importantly,
Lolita,
up to Lolita, yeah,
yeah,
was
he
carrying
dissolved.
on a abusive relationship with the 14-year-old star of the film. 14-year-old star of the
14,
film?
15. You know
It's
how Kubrick
not
shoots.
cool.
She could have
It's
been
not.
she could have been of legal age by the time that movie was done if but nonetheless, James B. Harris is almost 40. All right.
Yeah, well, he was
Yeah.
yeah, he was like in his 30s. But regardless, then it's even crazier when you consider the fact that James B. Harris, his father, was dealing in international film distribution as it relates to the Soviet Union. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. If this guy was, well, it does make sense, I should say. It shouldn't make, in a sane society, wouldn't make sense that someone who's dealing
In a
with
just world.
in a
Yeah.
just world, it wouldn't make sense because it's a fucking massive counterintelligence risk to have a guy whose son is engaging in that kind of behavior, traveling overseas, talking to Russian diplomats, talking to Russian business people, where the KGB intercepts everything that happens between Russians and Americans in a business setting, obviously, especially if it takes place in Russia. Now, what this says to me, obviously, is that the father, and probably to a lesser degree because James Harris himself dabbled in film distribution in the Soviet Union, um, they were assets. There's no way they weren't, given the fact that they have blackmailable shit on them. Um,
And never answered for it.
and never answered for it, right? And it's even to the point where James Harris and Sue Lyon, the star of the film, there was like gossip column things being like, looks like it's a bit of a May December relationship.
Dude, that's not even reading that was gross. Have you ever read the write-ups on, I think it's Brooke Shields?
No.
At the time, she was like 13 years old,
Oof. Oh
but they
yeah,
were
was she in that movie about the dolphins or something? Blue Lagoon.
uh, maybe. I think either way, she was getting like
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about.
I'm getting
It's
grossed
gross.
out by
It's
it.
really bad,
It's
dude.
nasty, but yeah, that's what I mean. That's they all end up becoming the fucking thing. Whatever's behind Wiki's diner.
You
That's
know
what I
what's
was. I
gross?
was joking to you about saying like this is just what happens to women in Hollywood, and that's what that movie Mulholland Drive is about. By the way, if you're not grokking
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
that
and
those women that get chewed up and spit out by Hollywood, they end up being whatever that is behind the dumpster at Wiki's diner.
behind Winkies.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You don't want to go topless in this uh summer romp movie that's not going to make any money?
Off to
Uh,
Winkies with you.
yeah, going to Winkies.
But
You're going to
yeah,
Winkies
no,
to
okay.
scare people.
We got a lot of
Um,
ground to cover, so let's fucking just drill into this. But yeah, so
uh,
James B.
we,
fucking Harris,
yeah, carry on,
he's a
please.
pederast. He carried on like that. And again, this is just like this is the kind of people that Kubrick the money came from. You know what I mean? Like Harris is the one who financed the films, or secured funding. Where do you think that came from?
He got quite a bit of funding for his first couple films from his rich uncle over in Pasadena that he spent some time with. Went to school out there in Pasadena
True
at
that.
the same time that JPL was riding high, Jet Propulsion Labs.
Oh right,
Um,
yeah, of course, yeah. Jack Parsons.
at the same time that Scientology
And
is
again, like it sounds like we're just going like,
in
oh,
the
he was in
news.
the area at the same time as this guy. Yeah, I understand that sounds retarded, but what I'm trying to say is Kubrick was aware of this shit. This was like local curiosity thing. Everyone talked about this. Is like think about pre-internet. Everyone was talking about what was going on in the newspaper or whatever. Like that's all they were thinking about for like a good long time.
And more curious yet is, Kubrick read every paper, read everything he could get his hands on. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about what,
Like
it's not,
parapolitical newspapers and shit. Like
Matt, yeah, here's the thing is, what newspaper did he pull
he hired a guy who wrote a JFK assassination book to be like one of his closest fucking assistants.
yeah, that's great, dude. And what, another plug, for, what is it, Kubrick's Boxes, that John Ronson doc.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't watch that actually. I
Very
didn't get
good.
around
I
to it.
watched it
Yeah.
twice. Oh, it was good. Um, it was fine. He spent many years going through the boxes. A lot of Kubrick kept every fan letter he ever got and
You never know when there's something juicy in it.
categorized them by state, from where they were sent, from what town, or city, and from what movie it was regarding, whether it was positive, negative, or crazy, which he wrote crank at the top. One of his own
Kind
assistant,
of
that guy
ironic,
Tony
really.
Frenwick, I believe. Is that his name? Frenwick?
That's the guy. Yeah, I believe that's the guy who
His
wrote the
assistant
book. Yeah. Yeah.
wrote him a crank letter years prior before they worked together. Um, that documentary also takes a very strange aside to like just
John Ronson's an asset himself.
yeah, because he spent too much time in this documentary drilling this former BBC employee, a screenwriter, about a crank letter that he wrote to Kubrick while he was drunk and jealous.
Yeah.
It was like the saddest thing ever. But let's not get into that. More bullshit from the BBC. Still good, worth a watch. Gets
I gotta,
into
yeah, I
his
get it's all John Ronson shit is like 50% like gold, 50% like
yeah mold.
oh, there you go.
But dude,
um,
it's we can get into his the Aryan
well, I think we
papers.
should go back. We should go. Oh man, there's so much, dude. Well, he was thinking about making a Holocaust movie. By the way, I posted this on Instagram, but thank God that movie didn't come out. That would have sucked
Ooh.
butts.
Nah, it would have been.
Unless it was based, because also there's the whole fucking he's that Raphael guy who co-wrote Eyes Wide Shut with him said that like Kubrick pulled him aside and was like, yeah, Hitler was right about everything about
He
us.
was right
Like,
about almost everything.
yeah.
Almost everything. I wonder what the almost is.
I mean like
He took issue with
uh,
the uniforms, I guess. Probably like
yeah,
his biggest issue was with Leni
he's really not a
Riefenstahl.
big guy. Really wasn't into meth.
Oh yeah, it's like they really should have cut that out. And that bitch Leni, get her out of there. She doesn't know how to frame a shot worth a damn.
I take issue with that.
Oh, she's fantastic. But
Yeah.
Kubrick probably had some shitty opinion.
Some
Um,
Jewish opinion about it, yeah.
um, well, yeah, that was a very strange aside in the book where it gets into Kubrick's self-hating Jewishism.
I think that's
Which
authentic. I think he just never because it's immediately refuted with like Steven Spielberg and shit being like, "Oh, I knew Stanley Kubrick. He was definitely not a self-hating Jew." You think he would do it in front of you,
yeah, well,
Spielberg? You fucking rat! You fucking Epstein's butt boy, bro! Like, get out of here with that. You think he would show his power level to you?
I mean, he was working with him at the end on AI, which I've never seen.
He's a talented filmmaker in spite of all of his gay
He was
opinions.
going to direct, but Kubrick, I guess, had, it was his
Died. He
pen.
had dying to do.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you, Stephen, but I'm gonna die
Yeah,
shortly before
I
my
got
movie
some
comes out.
planned. So you're gonna have to just take over full time for this fucking gay eye movie.
Don't change a thing. I will
He did. Oh,
know.
I'm positive he did. By the way, I will do that. We got to do an episode on that AI movie. Actually, totally
Yeah.
non-related to Stanley Kubrick because I don't think much of Stanley Kubrick's shit got into it, and it's really very Spielbergian.
Are we able to scavenge up what Kubrick's intentions were, you
Not at the
think?
moment. Give me some time. Give me a week.
Oh no, yeah, no. Well, yeah, fair enough.
Um,
So as we were,
yeah. So let's go back. Let's pull back here because I want to talk a little bit more about Man Ray and the Dada scene and
we
yeah,
haven't even gotten to that.
what connects Man Ray and John Huston. That's the and well besides Stanley Kubrick, I guess. Well, I don't think he
Oh,
no. Stanley Kubrick wasn't tight with John Huston, to be fair. I want to make that clear. Um but they probably knew each other casually in the Hollywood set.
rubbed
Um,
elbows.
but there was somebody who was not as well known, who was a big friend of both Man Ray and John Huston. That is a doctor named George Hodel.
Yeah, George Hodel, however you want to say it. He's an ass Hodel.
Yeah, he
Um,
well okay, let's just say this. What is he officially? What is the real what is supposedly what is the
he is
legacy, the normie legacy of George Hodel? George Hodel was a
he
specialist in treating STDs in LA during Hollywood's golden age.
the venereal czar. Ew.
Yeah. And
Also,
further, he also
no,
was known for providing back alley abortions for people and asking no questions.
I mean, to be honest, if you're John Huston, right, and you think I need a wife that definitely doesn't have STDs, you marry George Hodel's ex-wife,
Yeah,
right? Which he did.
he did.
John Huston's first wife was George Hodel's ex-wife. They were
Right.
pals.
And also George Hodel's second marriage, you know who the best man was?
Hitler, or I
John
don't
Hughes.
know.
Well, John Hughes. No, don't say that. John
Uh,
Huston.
yeah,
Now why are we bringing this guy up?
yeah. Who
Why are we
cares
talking about this guy?
about
Well,
a
here's the
century
thing. He
old?
in the 1970s he was very famously, maybe not famously, infamously accused by his daughter of sexually abusing her rather, him sexually abusing her.
Hmm.
And you know, pretty serious allegations. All charges were dropped. Now, this is in stark contrast with, I think Mackenzie Phillips or something.
Hmm. Yeah, the
Uh,
mamas and the papas.
yeah, or Michelle Phillips. Sorry,
M-
Mackenzie
uh,
Phillips is her
the
daughter.
daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Michelle Phillips was a childhood friend of this girl, Tamar, who is the Tamar Hodel. Um, although she might have a different name. Doesn't matter. Her name's Tamar, and her last name was doesn't matter. But
It
she
was
was
Hodel point.
it was okay.
So
But yeah, she was the biological daughter of George Hodel, and yeah, she. It's safe to say that this is a true thing that happened, and as I understand it, there is a lot of speculation amongst those concerned that the reason why um, George Hodel got off on the charges for molestation was because he had connections in the police department, perhaps related to the fact that he would take care of things for them, such as informants, mistresses, wives, what have you, contracting STDs. And then maybe, just maybe, guys, on the force, needing a back alley abortion. Now, what does that remind us of, folks?
bad things. Reminds me
Bad
of
things. Paul Preveler,
remind,
yeah.
reminds me of yeah. So these things are echoing out, and I hope that people are starting to understand where, there's multiple points
It's
of
about to really get
contact here.
serious in a minute, yeah.
Multiple points of contact here because not only, we haven't even mentioned George Hodel's uh biggest claim to fame.
We're getting to that right now, but yeah.
Do you want to be the one to do the
Well, I just
honors?
want to say, so in 2001, I believe, shortly after, by the way, why did he wait till after he died? After he left, after he was dropped charges on him to have the molestation charges, he went to, like all innocent men, went to go live the rest of his life in the Philippines.
Oh, like wait, no, Arthur C. Clarke, another one of Kubrick's closest friends. Not friends. Listen, I don't spend any time with people.
Colleagues.
We'll call it a colleague. I don't spend this much time with people I don't need to. Um, Also ended up in the Thailand, or
Yeah,
I
they're all
think
there. I mean, he's
Thailand.
English. I mean, they all go there.
Yeah, but for the reasons you think.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, I think you might be picking up what we're smelling, what we're stepping in here. So now the other thing, so after he died, his son, George Hodel's son, I don't remember his first name,
Steve
doesn't
Hodel,
Stephen Hodel, yeah.
author of the series we should read, Most Evil, and that's regarding this. I've read those before; they're very good.
Right. And yeah, so he makes the pretty wild accusation that his father was responsible for many murders, but most notably to our interest, the Black Dahlia Elizabeth Short murder in 1947. And he explicitly points at the idea that it was a ritualistic murder that was inspired by the Minotaur piece by Man Ray. Now, and we're not gonna, this is a little over the Man Ray, the Minotaur picture is bad enough. We're not gonna pull up the fucking crime scene photos here.
No, I don't think that's necessary. It's ingrained enough in the minds of people, if not directly from seeing it. That image is so, like, I remember first time I saw it, I was like, I've seen this before, and it's through other media.
Yeah,
This, this has been
it's real. I mean, it's definitely injected into the
it's a grim template.
cultural consciousness. Yeah, this
The
was like an
exquisite
early
corpse.
attempt at sort of building the serial killer myth.
So, yeah, perfect. Yes. And especially considering that one detective was on the murder of Elizabeth Short for 50
Hmm.
years, John St. John. He
John
took
St.
it over in
John, yeah.
48 and then held it until he retired in 90 some, 91, I think.
I wonder if he was really trying his hardest.
Yeah, makes you wonder. Um, so, well,
Also, any
makes
guy,
makes you
anyone who has a
wonder.
like a double name like that, just get the fuck out of here. You fucking
Oh, yeah, no, what was his nickname? Jigsaw John. If you haven't,
yeah.
no, okay,
Because
you're
he
too.
puts together pieces of the puzzle. Took him 50
Hey,
years. He didn't put that one together.
hey, this guy, you should see him work.
He's like putting
It's
together a jigsaw puzzle.
it's like sitting with Einstein or
By the way, how
something.
boring, by the way, to watch someone put together a jigsaw puzzle. Why would you
Oh,
want to see
jeez.
him work?
I'd rather tear one apart. Fucking yeah, no, this is something like
Yeah.
that is definitely a case of a guy that is,
Okay, but
he
let's say a little more here. So details about the Elizabeth Short murder. Is that well, first of all, we're not going to show the picture. I'm not doing it. I already saw it this week once. I'm not looking at it again. But she's posed in the same position.
now
She posed
okay,
like the
okay.
fucking picture.
Hold on. Before we show this, are we going to talk about we're talking about Marcel Duchamp,
No, we'll
right?
get that in a minute. One
Oh,
second. Hold
good.
your horses,
Good.
buddy.
We got even more, baby.
Yeah, this is the late
Five
edition.
courses of evidence here, of circumstantial evidence, but
Yeah, of
what are
course.
you gonna do?
But yeah, so circumstantially speaking, Elizabeth Short was posed in the fucking Minotaur pose. I'm sorry, it's that. It is that. Like it's literally the hands up. She was bisected at exactly the spot in which the mouth is at the end of the mouth, air quotes, Ursat's mouth of the Minotaur piece is, and she was also given a couple other things like the Glasgow smile, which usually has something to do with snitching, by the way. I was
Which,
consulting with some of my research assistants,
yeah,
and they that specifically
shouts out.
shouts out well Stephen, but yeah, Stephen had said that he was under the impression that he had this pretty funny idea too. Is actually that like, oh, who has access to big giant meat cutting blades, and it's guys who own kosher delis. But I mean, the Hollywood, whatever. But the
Oh
point
shit.
is that, but he sort of had sort of chalked the entire thing. He had never considered this whole Dada scene angle, but I think he's intrigued by it. But he gave me what his theory on it, which was that this was like someone was sniffing onto their call girl ring or something, and
Oh
they
yeah.
need to be told to shut the fuck up and don't, and this is what's going to happen to you if you keep talking about it, kind of thing.
And they
Now, it's
picked
worth mentioning
the
that Elizabeth Short, there's many, many rumors as to what her status was, what she was up to. The most popular, of course, being that she was an aspirational actress in Hollywood. That's like the part of the myth. However, again, let's just use our thinking caps here, guys. What does that usually mean for women in transient positions when they're like trying to break into the film industry? They're prostitutes. And especially at this
anytime.
time period too, by the way, please.
Oh yeah. Yeah, every woman's a prostitute until she's an actress. Um, and I'll be honest, anytime I see supermodel or ballet dancer now, I think
Former
spy.
prostitute, yeah.
I think spy mostly,
Oh,
but
yeah, okay, that too,
prostitute
yeah.
by circumstance, definitely. But um, which speaks to the fact that Kubrick's first wife, I forget which,
Ruth
was a
Sabatka, her second wife, yeah, was a
ballet
ballet
dancer.
dancer, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
In the Dada scene. Oh, she also appears in that film, by the way. But regardless, so yeah,
So just so I can recap here, Scott, we're talking about
please do. In fact, I think that
S-
would be helpful right now.
Stanley Kubrick, right? He's on the set of Dreams That Money Can Buy, which is helmed by multiple directors, one of which being Man Ray,
Yeah.
who has this really close relationship with George Hodel, who is a obvious creep.
Did not mention that he was considered the prime suspect for a time by the LAPD, going so
Yes.
far as to having his phones tapped and a recording kept on file to this day.
Oh, can we listen to it?
I don't know. I saw the transcript though.
No.
Basically, the transcript of it is maybe I did kill her. Pretty much, he literally says like OJ's
What's
out.
it to ya?
Yeah.
Meh. Yeah. Maybe I did. Okay, so we have this murder that echoes the themes of a surrealist painter that the prime suspect is dear friends with.
Yeah.
But further yet, there's other surrealist artists.
Marcel Duchamp was another filmmaker slash art visual artist that did a piece during that Dreams of Money Can Buy film.
Not
And
publicly
Steven
available.
actually sent this piece I'm just going to pull it up and you guys
Well,
can watch
Stephen,
it
thank you for this because this
again.
only furthers Marcel Duchamp was a cited influence of Kubrick's and was involved in the scene. And we're folks, what we're talking about here is hearsay, rumors, uh, you know, the kinds of stories that get passed along between people in an industry that can never be corroborated. But we're talking about here an art installation by surrealist artist Marcel Duchamp, where you walk up to a doorway.
I have to say this at the
Please, Scott,
doorway.
take it away.
I have to say this the doorway is intentionally, and I read this online, so maybe it's apocryphal. As I understand it, though, you approach approach a door, and you walk up a black and white checkered floor to go up to the door.
That's nice.
Yeah, just very artful. And according to Duchamp, he says, "Well, I'm just obsessed with chess." If he hadn't said
Cool, dude.
anything, if he had said nothing, I would have thought maybe it's a coincidence. But since he did, he
He is
said
condemned.
he's condemned. Yeah, he's so I don't know. For those who don't know, the black and white checkerboard floor is a key element of Masonic ritual
Lodges.
lodges. Yeah, and it's supposed to represent the like the duality of man.
Man.
And
I think it's supposed to represent the duality of man, sir.
yeah. Good point. Yeah. And but yeah, so and then you walk up to this door, and the only way to view this piece is to look through a keyhole,
A camera?
obscura,
Yeah.
a camera
Fucking
obscura.
shit, dude.
Shouts out John D's nuts. But yeah, so you look through it, and this is what you see. So for those not watching the video, so
We will do our
it's
best
two
to
little
describe
ass
this.
holes. Two little ass holes in the video. It's approaching the holes, and it's clearly the camera is going up to this little ass hole. And now the camera is looking through, and inside is a camera obscura,
A landscape.
a landscape that it
Far
does seem to
off.
be painted, which looks nice, by the way.
Yeah, it looks nice
Um,
until
and
you
until you
figure
realize that there's a nude woman's seemingly corpse lying in the foreground in like what
Ugh.
appears to be, I'll say this, there's certainly no way that this woman is comfortable if she isn't alive, because
This is not.
it's like
Yeah.
bramble bushes she's laying in.
This is
But
less weekend at in Versailles, more weekend at Bernie's, if you will.
yeah, and it's also just the color is like very intentionally pallid and corpse
Mm.
like. In
And
fact,
the
all of the
head
critics who
is
did eventually look at this said that it had a really corpse like quality. And also, I want to point out here though is that she's holding up a lamp, which furthers the Masonic imagery because it's about enlightenment. It's going towards the light, the levels of masonry. It's you're getting closer and closer to the light. And again, it's
however
also has
many.
like a secret private aspect and a voyeuristic aspect, which is a
Mhm.
major aspect in
Oh yeah.
Masonic too, because you're watching a guy who has his blindfold. The other guys in the lodge watch the guy with his blindfold on, and they are
Yeah.
like, we see and you don't, and one person is being viewed is basically what I'm trying to say here.
And conveniently, just beyond the frame of the painting is her head, you
Yeah,
suppose, but you cannot see. So just the fact that
isn't it actually like a 3D thing? Isn't it not actually a painting?
that's possible, I
It's
believe
I
that because I've
believe, if I'm
seen
not
that
mistaken,
done.
it's actually a miniature. The background is
Amazing.
definitely a painting. So don't get me wrong. and then there's real elements like this. The body itself is, I believe, a miniature, and the twigs are twigs. I'm pretty sure,
If
and
only these
it's
people.
designed in such a way that it looks like it's the right size, but it's actually just a few inches in front of your face.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so yeah, he's dead now, but apparently this can be constructed in any museum. In It's currently at the Philadelphia Museum of Art, or was 15 years ago anyway. And there's a
Oh,
flowing waterfall with water in it.
I really, what I'd give to get behind there and see where the image cuts off. Um, you know?
I bet it's. I'm gonna just make a guess here and say that he purposely just made it cut off exactly where the eye
Mm.
stops. Because why would he give someone else an extra
No,
look?
of course, yeah, no.
But anyway, so
So
we're mentioning that
scary.
he made this in 1949, but he did
Very,
decided to keep it a secret until 1960.
yeah. It felt too soon. What do you mean too soon? Too soon after what? Nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So
very,
what are we
very.
saying here? Are we saying that a group of Dada artists were like, let's bring the imagery that we've been playing with in the realm of artistic play and maybe ritual magic via the art canvas and in the film screen. Perhaps we maybe go into a world of more into the real world with the art we're in doing here. Perhaps again, also I should mention here that later on in the book, it's noted that Man Ray and Duchamp are, and also along with people like Andre Breton and a
Mm.
couple other people, were members of a Saturnine cult from France, who is connected not directly but semi-connected to the OTO in England.
Um, Max
That's
Ernst,
Crowley's. That's Crowley's group.
Marcel Duchamp, and Man Ray, yeah. Um,
It's a shame
I
I can't put songs in the show anymore because there's a great song by Mission of Burma called Max Ernst. And in the
oh
end
no
of the
shit.
song, they go da 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 da
What do
da
they know?
da da. Nothing. I think
Um,
they were just art students, and they were like, "This is a guy we had to learn about."
I want to also give some credit to Bwap here. Shout out Bwap.
Shouts out WAP
Woke
at Woke
Beyond.
Beyond on Twitter. Yep.
Yeah, because he on the show is the one that brought up Exquisite Corpse, which
Yeah.
delves further into the relations between the Black Dahlia murder and surrealism and Dada art and stuff. So
Yeah, I think we'll have to do an episode fully on that. But this is
yeah,
sort of just I just thought it was
a
cool
primer.
in the cyclone of Stanley Kubrick here.
And yeah, in case anyone forgot, this is a Kubrick episode, but the fact that this man
I mean,
was
okay, this is why it's
always,
still a Kubrick episode, is
yeah,
because you can't escape surrealist art in the Kubrick films, particularly in films like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Um, in Much of the philosophy found in it is firmly within the surrealist sort of
hmm
headspace.
hmm and not a drug enthusiast by any means, Kubrick, but
True.
certainly seemed
As
to,
as as you as we pointed out earlier, he did say Hitler was right about almost everything.
yeah,
We're still assuming that was
the meth was his point of
the meth was his
contention,
point was this bone to pick.
his pipe to pick.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Kubrick was very, very, ironically enough, like influential in the, I don't know, the psychedelic,
Yeah, I mean,
uptick
I'll tell you this
that,
much: my older family, I almost said who it was, but my older family member of mine, would frequently say, "Oh yeah, 2001. You know that movie you smoke weed and watch." So yeah, I've definitely was definitely influential in that whole milieu. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about Kubrick's spooky dooky connections. Uh, so yeah, James B. Harris. That's obviously that guy's a spook. His family's spooks. We also got. So let's talk about. I think an important thing to talk about here is the Doctor Strangelove film era. And famously, he consulted with a number of people in the military industrial complex, people who work for various military slash defense industry think tanks that have major overlap with the Pentagon. Notably, his main advisor for military technology was a guy named Alistair Buchan. Avid listeners of the show will remember John Buchan being an author who was a part of the Milner Group in World War One and created propaganda to mentally prepare the British populace for war with Germany. And he created the spy novel genre by writing books about German spies. Real schlock too, by the way. And apparently, William told me that he's like a good author when he doesn't write this crap. But yeah, he was a Milner Group guy, and I think he has something to maybe John Buchan has something to do with the Congo too. I gotta look into that. But again, propagandist, definite propagandist, and the we still on the same page. Did you get what I was just talking about? Okay, cool. Yeah, so
Never left.
good. The so anyway, the he got a Milner Group guy literally being his main advisor for Strangelove for the military technology aspect of it.
Well, wasn't Buchan? He was the one that presided over the whole Second Boer War, wasn't that?
No,
Wasn't that
no, that would be his dad either way, but
his dad?
no.
Yeah, that's who I mean.
No,
Um,
Buchan was the one who he was a propagandist. He wrote he created the spy novel genre, the spy genre essentially to like prepare the British populace for war with Germany essentially by creating the like the idea of debonair British spies facing off against the evil Krauts. Um,
his father was a mean bastard too, though.
yeah, but regardless, I just want to make sure you understand that this is propaganda we're talking about here, and it's Strangelove is propaganda too, but it's like interestingly a different type of propaganda. It's
It's a weird kind. It's a
yeah.
D sort of
I guess
a
it's important to say here right now is that
diffusive.
yeah, that's not a bad way to say it. But I want to say right here is that I'm going to be making the case that Kubrick had inside track to the Kennedy White House, or at least like the liberal wing of the Democratic Party. Um, and as in particularly Kennedy insiders, it's worth saying that because I'll just say this out front of it is that the Doctor Strangelove film, it was set to be screened in front of JFK prior
Mm.
to its release, and indeed it was going to be the day after. I think he was going to go sit down and watch it the day after he ended up being assassinated, Kennedy. Like it was
His
scheduled to be the next day or something.
his sisters
The day, yes,
had
the day
seen it.
before, the day before he was assassinated, his two biological sisters attended a screening to view the film and liked it, I guess. But I
John,
also
you'd love it. It's great.
it's a fucking piss of movie. The but yeah, so I got to also go take a step back here and we got to talk about Spartacus. Spartacus, I watched that in high school, by the way. But
Ben-Hur's better.
Kirk Douglas, Kirk Douglas was is known. Gay actor Kirk Douglas was
Gaiman.
very well known as being like one of the transformative forces to make Hollywood from like the stodgy 1940s HUAC period where everything is like
Mm.
has to be about how patriotic everyone is. John Huston, by the way, very emblematic director during this period. But
John
uh,
Huston, because there is a John Huston.
it's
That's
John
another
Huston
guy.
though. You've never heard of Angelica Houston, dude? It's John
I,
Huston.
but isn't there
Angelica
another
Houston is John Huston's father or daughter.
with an O? Yeah, and
Nope,
that I know.
Huston.
All right, never mind. Because there's a
It's John
Houston.
Huston, brother.
All right, forgive me.
It's spelled Huston, I know, but it's not.
There's a
Yeah, I know there's another guy named John Huston
that's
who did cowboy movies. I know.
I forgive me. Yeah,
It's
never
not the
mind.
same guy though. Angelica Houston's father is John Huston, the guy who
Don't
was
get
in
fooled again,
Chinatown.
folks. These are the same people.
um Yeah. So anyway, I got off track now.
Sorry.
Um, um, where was I? Um,
Talking about John Huston, Kirk Douglas,
Oh, Kirk
the
Douglas. Thank you, thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Kirk Douglas. Also, by the way, after leaving James B. Harris Pedophiles partnership, he then went into a partnership directly with Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
And Kirk Douglas was very financially responsible for. Although, by the way, he James Harris worked on Paths of Glory, the first film that Douglas worked with Kubrick on. But
Hmm.
regardless, after that, he went directly to work for Douglas and made Spartacus, notably. Now, Spartacus is a really important. People often overlook this. I didn't realize this how
Hmm.
important this was until I read this book. But everybody knows about the Hollywood blacklist. In fact, we did an episode about it very early on in the show. But one of the arch communists who were outed during the HUAC hearings was a guy named Dalton Trumbo. And he was like an unrepentant communist who was a film writer. And it seems pretty good if he wrote Spartacus. So he wrote Spartacus, and he had been working the entire time that he'd been on the blacklist, of course, but under a pseudonym, of course. And Douglas decided, fuck it, I'm ending this era in Hollywood, essentially. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but Kirk Douglas and gay actor Michael Douglas are both Jewish. Um, and you know this because the reason we know this is because Michael Douglas has throat cancer from eating out his wife.
How does that make him gay? Oh,
I didn't
because
say
like
he's gay. I said
he didn't.
he's Jewish because he eats pussy.
Whoa! Whoa!
It's like the opposite reputation that black guys have.
And oh wait, oh okay. Well, listen, hold on. I didn't know that he got cancer from eating his wife's
Yeah, Catherine
box.
Zeta-Jones.
Put her in jail, by the way. What the hell? We're letting her walk
Yeah,
around?
that performance in Chicago, please, sister.
Never mind that. Gave everybody AIDS with that performance.
Regardless, but I'm
Cancer,
sorry, I wanted to do some
AIDS,
funny jokes about gay actor Michael Douglas. But no,
gay actor Michael Douglas.
and but yeah, Kirk Douglas though, he said enough of this blacklist shit. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm over it. Right? See,
I'm tough guy Michael
I'm
Douglas.
tough Jewish man, Kirk Douglas.
Wait, let me puff out my
I'm
chest.
gay.
I'm holding my breath.
They're all
but you
saying
can't tell.
I'm gay.
No, I'm gay.
Gay.
The Roman soldiers like, fuck, shit, everyone's
They're all
gay.
gay. They're gonna fuck us.
Oh shit.
um, but yeah,
Oh shit.
what I was gonna say is, yeah. So basically, he said, "Fuck all that shit. I'm now going to make Dalton Trumbo's name be on this film," and it triggered a massive backlash in the conservative watchdog groups such as the American Legion, which now has no impact on the world at all, other than having meat raffles. But at the
Nice.
time was a major political mover, and they threatened to make all of their members um, not boycott the film. Now, interestingly, now again, I also have to say I have to get in front of this is that Kirk Douglas enjoyed a personal relationship with JFK. Must be
Hmm.
said. So
Hmm.
there's a non-zero amount of this being that it was just out of fealty to Kirk Douglas that JFK went to the theater and posed for photos at the theater, having gone to see it, and afterwards commented to a reporter or something to say, "I liked it."
I liked it. Made me feel strong.
Yeah, but
Made my
regardless,
back not
but this
hurt
this
so
basically
bad.
shit. This poured water all over the sort of conservative backlash. Was that the president himself was commenting on this film and saying like, "It's not so bad, guys. Chill out."
Yeah, chill.
Um, so I just wanted to say that in order for you to understand that he was certainly familiar with the work of Stanley Kubrick. I mean, obviously, that's indicated by the fact that he was going to do an advanced screening of Doctor Strangelove. Now, the other thing is, during the production of Doctor Strangelove, I believe he was killed, or there was the post production of it that he was
Well, it
killed.
was slated to be released the day he was killed.
Yes, that's right.
So that movie
And then it was
was,
pushed back, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah, a whole year and change. And now, well, not a whole year, but till
It was like 4 months, I
64.
think. Yeah.
So, uh, this is detailed very well in the book, is the weighing of
Fail
studio
safe.
bottom lines versus
Well, so there's this other book slash movie called Failsafe that was written by this guy named George Scott. No, not George C. Scott.
no, no.
Richard George.
Uh-huh.
And he's an RAF, a spooky guy, and he wrote a book which is remarkably similar to the plot of book Red Alert, which is the book that was the basis of Doctor Strangelove, although obviously
Hmm.
Doctor Strangelove has some creative differences between the book and the movie. Now, in order to now this I can't understate how much this would fuck over Doctor Strangelove if this movie came out first. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
it's worth mentioning too that Failsafe, the production of the film was quick. It wasn't a Kubrick movie, so it took normal amount of time for a movie. And so they were wrapping up on this movie when Kubrick was still in the midst of making Strangelove. So he sued the production of, which was a smaller film production company, if I'm not mistaken. He
Yeah.
sued the film for similarities, although they're not. I don't think that this would be a fair. It
It
wouldn't be
was
fair to say that they're the same. It's frivolous. It's a frivolous
yeah.
lawsuit. Yeah. And in this financial turmoil that they put the smaller studio into, put them out of business, however, and the parent company or the studio that was putting out Strangelove purchased not only the entire studio but the rights to release Failsafe under the Columbia Pictures brand.
Hmm.
Now, again, I mentioned to you that it was already done at this point when they bought it, essentially, and they could just turn right around and release the film, but they didn't. And they basically ruined that movie's release because when it came out, everyone was like, "Yeah, Doctor Strangelove, we all saw that already," and it
It's not as
tanked the
good as
movie.
yeah.
Now, why is this? Because Doctor Strangelove wasn't a particularly profitable
Successful.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, profitable I think would be the word
Hmm.
because it was successful.
Right.
A lot of people
Right.
saw it, but every one of Kubrick's movies are massively way over budget and ergo always never make any money or barely break even. Um, but that even speaks to the same thing. It's like, why do these movies keep getting made? Like everyone knows Stanley Kubrick's films are artistically worth the merit, or have the artistic merit. But this, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
No. It's almost as if his films have they serve the purpose of certain sects of influence.
Yeah. So what
And
I'm
that's who he
sort
goes
of
to.
just I'm just gonna state it outright.
Yeah.
I think that there may have been some meddling on the part of the Kennedy administration or elements within the liberal wing of the Democratic Party to pull favors with Columbia Pictures in order to get the tank that movie in order to make sure that the Doctor Strangelove film came out. Because, and the book does not get into this, but you have to understand that the Kennedy administration has a or had a long track record of utilizing fiction, satire, and just pieces of media as sort of I don't know what to say. Propaganda is the only word really for it. But
Of
regardless,
course.
just a few weeks ago we had on Monica. You weren't on the episode, Patrick, but we had a Monica. Me and William had Monica on to talk about Report from Iron Mountain, which was indeed released at first by during the Kennedy administration. Robert McNamara immediately was like, "Well, shit, print up a bunch of the copies of this, and we have to find out if it was authentically leaked from us."
Mm.
It was so it was so similar to real life think tank pieces, like the ones that Kubrick was consulting, such as the ones about Herman Kahn
Con.
and Edward Teller, and all these guys writing this crazy doomsday stuff. It's very, very thematically similar, and it's a fact that the Kennedy administration, having sort of earmarked this as being particularly, I mean, I'm specifically talking about Report from Iron Mountain here. It was like, hey, everybody, read this. Like the American public, you should read this thing. And it seems to me that it's sort of the same vibe. I mean, when I did the episode about Iron Mountain, I said it's like Doctor Strangelove. Literally, that's what I said throughout the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
episode. It's like
Right.
Doctor Strangelove because, of course, I had read that or had seen that many, many times prior to ever reading that
And it
book.
is.
It is. It's the same scenario essentially. Is this idea now? Why is this important? Why does the Kennedy administration want to get this out there? Well, there was a coup that ended up killing him by a fringe
What?
aspect
When? When did the
fringe aspect cabal within the American the intelligence community.
is he okay?
But it also speaks to a broader. I didn't even know he was sick. I speaks to a broader problem within the defense military industrial complex and the broader intelligence apparatus, I guess, of the United States at that time, which basically the inmates were running the asylum. The They had become self-radicalized. They'd gotten high in their own supply of some shit that the Dulles brothers were cooking up in order to get their clients like coups around the world. This entire concept of containment and domino theory, they knew it was fake. They had to know it was fake. They had to know that the people who constructed it had to know that it was malarkey and that this was all in effect in order to accomplish geopolitical and economic goals for American-based corporations and financial institutions, such as the ones we saw throughout the 1950s and 1960s, all across South America, all through the Southeast Asia, French Indochina, all this stuff. Particularly as it relates to the narcotics trade, by the way, that's another aspect that we aren't even touching on. But the fact of the matter is the rank and file members of the military were becoming radicalized by the propaganda that was being put out by the people at the top.
Yeah, amazing.
And that's what this
Amazing.
movie's about.
It's amazing that their own seconds in command are not in on the joke
General
that
Jack D.
we're
Ripper
on.
has been driven mad by the propaganda that has been knowingly issued to him as a bunch of malarkey. And then we've talked a little bit about this, and it's covered decently well in the book. But the John Birch Society, who started that? An OSS guy, if I'm not mistaken.
How about the fact? I mean, just think about it. While Kennedy is probably getting his elbow pulled, saying, "Hey, we know these guys at NUMEC.
Yeah.
They want to talk to you about something." He's saying, "No, no, I have a meeting with Kirk Douglas and Stanley Kubrick about nuclear disarmament." Yeah, no. 1 month later,
Yeah.
crack. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
many
many
things
such
that
cases.
are all wrapped up into that. Obviously, we've talked about it ad nauseum, and we'll be talking a little bit more about it soon. But just wanted to say though is that
Which Israelis do you want to talk to, basically, Scott? That's your
yeah, the
peril.
Americanized ones are the yeah, the real crazies. Um,
Pick your
but yeah, no,
Israeli.
the yeah, I'm sorry, my head started to hurt a little bit just thinking about
Yeah,
what I said.
isn't it?
I
Yeah,
also just want to
folks.
go back real quick to John Huston and say that it says something about a guy who would hang out with. Let's be honest, that guy killed that lady. Like,
He
and
killed
also
that
that
poor
poor
woman.
woman, that poor woman. And
I'm dressed
the
like Walter Sobchak right
Millie
now.
Milius too, by the way. That's who's that's based
John
on.
Milius trying to freaking entrap Stanley Kubrick, telling him, "No, no, the DOD, they love you stuff.
Yeah,
Come
I'll
on over
bet.
for a party." Meanwhile, Kubrick's like, "I went to a party once, a masked ball, where I met my wife." That's another creepy story. Meets his third and final wife at a masked ball where he's the only one without a costume.
That seems like him elaborating on a. He probably was wearing a costume, but he just wanted to make himself seem more like romantic, you
He was
know?
dressed as a Gentile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
Um.
bothering nobody, trying to get in anybody's heads.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I almost don't want to. In fact, I want to purposely not talk about really much of the Eyes Wide Shut stuff because I just want to say this to the point of the book here. The section he has about Eyes Wide Shut is excellent in its analysis. I don't really find it relevant to the rest of the book.
Frankly, I'm pulling back on Eyes Wide Shut stuff because we're going to do an analysis
I mean,
in the
I
future.
will
So
also do want to say though that that episode I did of Eyes Wide Shut on my old podcast, it's my finest work on that show.
do you want to plug it, Scott? Do you
No,
want
I
to tell
don't.
it?
I
All
don't. You
right.
can those who know know.
If you know, you know.
If you want to find it, you can find it.
It's
You
easier
can
to
consult
find.
the angels if you really want to. It's very easy to find. You can consult the angels.
Hit the scrying stone, you'll find it. Um,
Uh,
so uh, as you were saying, Kubrick
oh
does,
yeah, but
yeah,
Houston, real quick. So this guy hangs out with all these crazy people, hangs out with Man Ray and shit, and you know, molests people, has a gazillion, treats people like shit. Forget all the allegations. Treats people
pawns
like
off his
garbage.
first wife on a back alley abortionist.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then also he constructs a house for one of his mistresses, if I'm not mistaken. That was a weird deed.
yeah,
Regardless, though, but just think about the kind of psychology that goes into, again, everyone thinks about this guy as like the enigmatic figure from the Chinatown film and, as this iconic filmmaker. But what I see is a guy who wanted to intentionally inflict intergenerational trauma to push false information into the heads of many generations of people.
amen,
It's just a sick person who would go,
amen,
I want you to think that people made lampshades and wallets out of fucking flesh. I want
yeah,
you to think that. I'm a sick fuck. And I like that idea. Is that came out of his head, clear somebody's head, and he was like, yes, this is good. I like this.
magical,
And then he's
magical,
sitting
isn't
in a
it?
room with Man Ray and George Hodel. And it's like, yeah, this checks out
Yeah.
firmly.
No, these certainly seem like the kinds of people who believe in a means to an end,
Yeah.
and there's no such thing as a means to an end.
Now, where does Kubrick fit into this? This is the real question. Because
This is a
clearly,
guy
I
who
think I think he
kept his
exposes
ears
quite a
open.
bit, obviously, in his films, but they're encoded in such a way that, like, it's like who's he talking to? 1-2% of the audience.
For those who know, they'll know. I think as time goes
Same
on,
thing
we'll
with
only
that
know
fucking
more.
28 years later. It's like I forgot to mention this because we did the full analysis. It's available on historyhomospodcast.com. But
Check it out.
but I since we did that episode, I've been like looking at what normies think about. They fucking hate this movie
No shit.
because they're like,
We do
what the
too.
fuck? But for different reasons though. We got it and don't like it. They didn't get it and don't like it, and they don't like it because they didn't get it.
And they don't like it. Also, because it's not good.
Oh,
All right.
it's weird, yeah. But
It's all
they
right.
all the way that they all describe that scene, which is clearly alchemical symbolism at the end, where the skull pyramid again. Our episode, if you want to hear the deets about it, they're all like, it just becomes a fucking Lifetime movie all of a sudden, and it's like
Uh,
that's not what it's
What?
talking about, you
A
fucking
Lifetime
idiots.
movie? What the hell are you
Like a
people
heart
talking
wrenching,
about?
oh mommy, it's not. I mean, it's not what
That,
happens in the movie.
wait,
They
that's their
think
idea
that.
of,
That's what normies think.
dude, dude,
Go
that's
watch our
what,
review of it
oh,
if you want to know
and
what's really going on in that movie.
and if you want to wash the taste out of your mouth, watch the water drinking scene from Ben-Hur because that makes me cry every time.
I know what scene you're talking about.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Oh
He
man.
comes out of the desert or something, right? And he drinks water.
It's just the best depiction of Christ in any movie because they never show his face. Gets me every time.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah. Wash the
Um,
taste out of your mouth. This is awful shit we're talking about here, folks.
yeah,
We're
but
talking about
yeah. So
dismembered
let's talk
corpses
about
and
okay. What are we? There's so much more I got to get to, and
nuclear
we're actually
detente.
doing okay on time, I think. Um,
Let
but yeah,
me.
so Kennedy connections. I'm sorry, I think it's there. And
Oh,
again,
certainly.
perhaps it was just Kirk Douglas going, John, you got to meet this Stanley Kubrick guy. That could be it, but it's happened. It's in there. It's real. Um,
Can we? I thought this was funny. A short little
by the way,
excerpt
John
here.
Milius, I just want to say you said that he
Yeah,
tried to lure him into a Department of Defense meeting where they'd obviously kill him. I think John Milius was, I don't think he's a baddie. I think he's a brainwashy.
dummy. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
a
a
dummy.
brainwashy.
Oh,
You
poor
see who he
guy.
married and what his kid is, by the way?
Wait, I'm guessing he married a Vietnamese woman.
No,
Fuck.
devout Jewish woman, and his daughter is now like an arch Zionist, like conservative influencer who's friends
Zen
with Michael
Buddhist.
Kretschmer, Michael Malice. She's friends with him.
Wait, what was he? A Zen anarchist? Is that what they're practicing over there in Israel?
Whatever, yeah,
Anarchism?
yeah, I guess.
Go you suck every dick in the bag. Um, I want to just mention here. Uh, this is just fascinating to me was Kubrick's. Um, he understood
Sorry.
that
Hmm.
film was a derivative art form and that it's composed of other art
I love
forms.
this.
Oh, I thought about this forever.
Actually, now you know what? I'm going to divulge with him because he thinks that art. He thinks photography is art, and I don't.
Hmm. It's one in a million type of thing where
Maybe in a previous context, it was art before the moving picture.
yeah,
But it's just a less skilled version of painting.
I don't well
Whatever. We're not going to litigate this now.
we've done folks, we've done
We have an
many,
episode
many
on this. Yeah.
episodes on discussing art, and you
Art
should go
versus
check those out
skill.
on
Art versus
substack.com.
skill.
Art v skill. Skill wins every time. Um, but Kubrick thought that editing was where film got to
This is just fact.
exercise its
This is fact. This is the
absolutely.
magical process of film. I've talked about this endlessly. You know who, believe it or not, I got this concept from is a man named John Crickfalusi, better known as John K, creator of Ren and Stimpy.
No shit.
Yeah. He has
The
a whole article
the man, the
he wrote a
dog.
whole article about how editing is the only skilled part of filmmaking.
Hmm.
And he says that as a cartoonist, by the way.
Yeah. And this is the guy that I know. I used to like Ren and Stimpy. I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I used to like. I probably saw like 10 minutes of it in my whole like childhood put together, but I'll never forget it. I remember something that one of the guys on Ren and Stimpy said that they will never repeat a frame. They'll never repeat an
Yeah.
image. Everything is totally
A
and to
totally
sit.
new drawing. Yeah, there's no most cartoons have like they call them style guides where it's like this is what a guy looks like when he's mad. This is what he looks
Mm.
like when he's sad. And we just
Oh
use
yeah,
that cell. Not only just like that same drawing, you're gonna literally use the picture, like his face is gonna we're gonna copy and paste it on there so he never doesn't look the same. And yeah, you're right about that. On Ren and Stimpy, they would draw every single frame new every time. It would
magnificent.
make the characters look very dynamic and
And
memorable.
yet he sees editing as the greatest,
Aspect
um,
and most artistic aspect of filmmaking. Yes,
I swear, man,
maybe
it's
you
the
heard that from
closest
Kubrick. To be fair, I don't know.
very well could be. I swear to you, though, and McGowan does a great job of this. He actually, of all places, details this very well at the beginning of Program to Kill, where he equates somnambulism, the state of daydreaming. There's levels up
Yeah.
and down
Also,
from that.
what's sleepwalking is considered somnambulism too.
Yeah, yeah. Um, exactly. So this we're basically when we give ourselves our attention over to a film, we are engaging in a what's the mystery man say in Lost Highway?
To
You
f-
invited me over. I don't deal with anybody that doesn't want to deal with me or something like that, you know?
something
You
like that. Yeah. You
you're
willingly, like a vampire, let it into your life when you
yeah.
when you when you
So
go into a what's the word disassociative state to watch a film. Yeah.
yes, perfect. Yeah. So to enter to
By the
fully
way, that
appreciate
guy
a
murdered his wife after that film was made.
in such a familiar way, kind of like the way that Paul Prevaler's wife, Cheryl Pervaler, whatever,
Yeah,
got
whatever.
murdered inside her car outside of,
I think
just,
he did it though.
yeah, well,
He
hey,
didn't have someone else do it. I think he
that was
just
her.
like was like, "Oh, I'll bring my second gun to
Who'd have
fucking."
thought your 10th husband would kill you? 10
Yeah, but
husbands before you're 50 years old. My goodness, not to, you know,
if
victim shame.
109 husbands divorce you, maybe you start asking if you're the problem.
So, um, it's just it's a very, very, um, uh,
Yeah, good movie. Oh, by the way, I should mention it's just on the Elizabeth Short slash Lost Highway. I know you just watched it for the first time. Did a good episode on that in my old podcast too, by the way. But I didn't know
grim.
this detail. This book brought this to my attention, but George Hodel was notably massive fan of the architect Lloyd Wright, which is
Frank
just
Lloyd Wright.
stop. No, Frank Lloyd Wright's son, Lloyd
Lloyd
Wright.
Wright, yeah. It
Lloyd
was
Lloyd Wright.
Lloyd. Wait, is that his
It's
name?
Lloyd
Lloyd.
Wright, dude. It's Lloyd Wright. I'm pretty
Uh,
sure.
Lloyd squared, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
But regardless, so he's a lesser known. Everyone knows Frank Lloyd Wright, by the way. Easton, Massachusetts is a Frank Lloyd Wright arch there. Mwah, beautiful, love it.
We'll
But
check it out.
the his son though was a lesser known architect, and George Hodel was a massive fan of his and lived in one of Lloyd Wright's houses. And in the film Lost Highway, the initial murder, Bill Pullman's wife is murdered. We don't know who, but in the house that they inhabit is indeed maybe not the Lloyd Wright house, but a Lloyd Wright house.
It's the son's house, yeah. And that was David Lynch's house at the time of filming.
Fucking weirdo.
That was his house
A
when he
weird house, by the way. That fucking house is eerie.
scary as shit, man. One of my favorite things about
Oh, there's also ritualistic aspects to that movie. Big program to kill on it under Karen and that too. By
oh
the way,
yeah,
I hadn't read it at the time when I did that movie review though.
I was looking into before I even read the book, I was looking into, surrealism, and I was getting into the exquisite corpse
Yeah,
Googling hole, and that's when I came across this great Reddit thread about surrealism and Lost Highway, and that's when I, decided I should probably watch this finally.
yeah. I can't
And
believe you
it's
haven't
all
seen it.
over there, man. It's all over
I
there.
love the Nine Inch Nails music in it too. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Not a movie you should watch with the AC on. It detracts from the there's a lot of quiet in that movie.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I don't think
Yeah.
you should watch any movie with a lot of droning noise in it. Yeah.
Agreed. But the house has got to stay cool, Scott.
True that, true that.
Uh, don't we all know that? So Kubrick was not unfamiliar with the power that film could have on his
I
audience.
mean, just watch his movies, you know this. I mean, we just did the two. I'm not going to repeat any of the shit we said in the 2001 review, but I mean, the whole thing is a big metaphor for the movie screen being a transformative fucking
Man,
transformative power within our lives, literally utilizing, Platonic magic or whatever, you know. Check out the
um,
episode. Well, also, I thought this interesting stuff about the nine. I almost want to do it. We got to do
oh
an episode separate
yeah,
on this
I,
because it's
I,
Star Trek related, and I haven't made you watch any Star Trek.
is this how you get? Because I brought the nine up to you before, and
Brother, I watched last night, absolutely, completely randomly watched the final episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, All Good Things Part Two. Um, and wow, was it on the nose, particularly after reading the section of the book about the nine.
Puharich, yeah, Andrea
Puharich.
Puharich
So I
is
just
one of
gotta say this. So
oh
everybody knows
creepy
that
fucker.
this guy is. I actually hesitate to even get into this right now, but because
There's
it
so
doesn't
much.
really relate so much to Kubrick, other than the fact that he would have known about it and incorporated it into his imagery during
I'm
2001.
obsessed with what Kubrick's personal
Interests were, yeah.
cosmology and theology, to whatever extent you want to call it that, what
I
he
think he's
really
an
believed.
atheist.
What did he say about, well, it would be great if ghost stories were real, because that would mean, well, it'd be terrible because that means it's not over when you die. It's like,
Yeah, he's no, I wouldn't say he's a nihilist, but I think he's like a. I don't know, man. I don't think he's a. I don't know. I'm not,
I
it's.
wish him
I don't
well
want to go
wherever
to.
he's at right now.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know. I
that's all
don't
I
think
say.
he's in a good place per se, but
Who is?
regardless, I agree with you. I'm really interested in what was his autistic special interests were. You know.
Well, uh, related to that, it's just the are you familiar with the Toynbee tiles? I think I brought these up during
Yes.
the 2001 episode. If I did not, I was remiss to. The Toynbee tiles are for those unaware, worth a Google. These license plate or so poster sized
Yeah, we did talk about this in the episode.
mosaics.
Yeah, they're just randomly found in various places, including Boston. I'm gonna go find some of these in Boston, actually.
If they're
Nobody
not worn
knows who's
away
putting
yet.
them there.
I think it's been found by now. There's been a doc done on it. But the thing that rings in my head constantly is Kubrick 2001 idea, resurrect the dead on Jupiter. And
Hmm.
it's a Toynbee idea. Arnold Toynbee, I
Arthur
believe.
Arthur Toynbee. He was one of
Arthur
the
Toynbee,
he was in
forgive
the
me.
Milner group.
Amazing. Yeah, so now we're talking about these like weird Neoplatonic ideas of like passing through the cosmos is actually like, outer space, the thing that Kubrick
Is
was playing around into
metaphorical, yeah.
is, we're actually
Oh
passing
yeah,
through different
I would be remiss
planets
not to
to,
mention this, by the way. Is the entire 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, forget the whole Kubrick film, the moon landing thing. What a great you said it before, is it? What a great advertisement for NASA the year before the moon landing.
yeah, what
It's
better
on
way
every the
to,
tip of everyone's lips. I do want to say this is that Kubrick himself sort of mused that the NASA guys who kept showing up and looking around the set were stealing stuff from him, stealing ideas from him. I mean,
what are they paid to do? It's what they're there to do.
yeah, they're spies too. They're Freemasons. All literally everyone in NASA was a Freemason. But it's also I think it's interesting. The context that the book gives is that why would specifically Kennedy be, or the Kennedy faction, I should say,
Mm.
that was
That's
helping,
important.
yeah,
The Kennedy faction,
yeah, because
because we,
helping Kubrick, because worth mentioning that what's his name? This guy Richard O'Brien, is that's his name, right? Or wait, no, Richard O'Brien is the guy from fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't remember what O'Brien it is, but a guy named O'Brien, who was the head of MGM Pictures at the time that
ah,
2001, it ruined
I
his
got him.
career for sticking his
Robert
neck out.
O'Brien.
Robert
Yeah.
O'Brien thing. Richard O'Brien is the guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show, by the way.
uh,
Um,
Crucial in protecting Kubrick from the MGM board throughout the making of the film.
the movie happened
Cost him
because of
his
this
job.
guy. Now, who was Richard O'Brien? Robert
I
O'Brien.
have the
Um,
perfect highlight here.
he was formerly worked for the SEC and had many different roles, hats in the Washington bureaucracy. And who was he a protege of?
That
Joseph
would be,
Kennedy. I'll just
yes,
say it. Yeah,
perfect.
Joseph
Yes.
Kennedy. And
Longtime
was a
friend of the Kennedy
long,
family.
long, long time fiscal supporter of the Kennedy the brothers, and probably to a lesser degree, Ted, unfortunately. Um, and yeah,
Don't forget about Roy
he ruined
Cohn.
his career in film to save the 2001 film. Now,
Yes.
why is this important? Why is the Kennedy faction so intent on getting eyes on the NASA project? Well, this was something of a coup. The entire NASA project was taken away from the Pentagon. And as again, the Pentagon not really big fans of the Kennedy team. Further, also, I just wanted to say there's just a lot of bad blood between those two aspects of the security state.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that when prior to NASA being formed by not Kennedy, it was Eisenhower, I think, but um, prior to that, it was the space exploration and rocket development, especially as it relates to one Jack Parsons, was in the purview not of NASA because NASA didn't exist. It was part of ARPA, which is a
Yeah.
direct ARPA, which is now known as DARPA, the DARPA chief. Oh man, it feels so good. You know, when you get diarrhea, but it doesn't hurt, feels so good, man.
I have no idea, but that's an MDE reference, isn't it?
It's not. It's
Fuck.
from Ego Raptor's Metal Gear Awesome
That's too many. The
from
intertextuality.
newgrounds.com.
Whenever you like reference something, I feel like I'm in 2001 where I'm like,
I've
like
seen a lot
this
of media in my day. Yeah.
decades of media just flying by me. This show is for people whose brains have been broken by
Yeah.
media consumption, but they're trying
Trying to
to.
repair it.
We're trying to crawl out of the
Anyway,
Socratic
but
hole in the
DARPA,
ground.
which is at the time was called ARPA, was the ones in charge of creating rockets and space exploration and stuff. And due to a executive action on the behalf of the Eisenhower administration, and then also more notably the Kennedy administration, we
Mhm.
chose to go to the moon not
We're
because it is
going.
easy, but because it is hard.
We're going to the moon, not to blow it up like those other guys thought we were gonna do. We're gonna go there to impregnate the moon,
It's worth
women.
noting that during that ARPA phase, where they're like, that's when they blew up a nuke or something in the fucking stratosphere. By the way.
Yes,
They're trying to
baby.
kill God or something. Yes, what if we nuked God? Break the firmament.
Then he'll never be able to tell us what we did wrong.
That the chicken isn't good enough.
Maybe if we nuke a chicken.
They do still do a bit of chicken nuking.
Kubrick did love microwaves.
Who doesn't? No, me for
Me.
one.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't. I'm an air fryer convert.
Hey now. But it's full of fucking plastic, my guy. You
Not
know?
all of them. They have metal ones.
And that's the way it should be. Folks, read the
Mine is plastic
description.
though.
Scott took it off the shelves so you wouldn't get the chance
Yeah,
at it.
you can't get all those carcinogens. I got some.
We're dying for this cause.
Whatever can put me out of my misery. I have to think about all this pedophile shit anymore. I'm sick of it. It's ruining my
Oh,
brain.
man.
Every weekend I'm just downing diapers in order to quiet the screaming.
Scott, we definitely need to change the direction of this show.
It hasn't been
Just to,
that bad. Fucking Johnny Appleseed and fucking John D's not that bad.
yeah, in case folks can't figure by now, this is just
I've actively been trying to get away from this stuff. I mean it.
and you know what, Scott? We're going somewhere, and it's somewhere good. And
Where
I
we're
don't.
going, we don't need roads. But we
Amen,
will be
brother.
going 88 miles per hour.
Amen, brother. Yeah.
Anyway, so we got some more stuff we got to cover here, and we're running out of time.
Eh,
We're at about 2 hours. But what was I gonna say? So okay, I don't want to talk about
well, Kennedy's usage of advanced computer models
oh,
to
I forgot
secure
completely about
his.
that. Yeah. They predated Cambridge Analytica. Yeah. And yeah, that's definitely a major aspect of 2001's sort of subtext is this idea that AI will be like used as proto predictive program or predictive pre-crime as it were.
Mm,
By the way, shouts out Monica's Movies, a podcast I appear on monthly. I did
mm.
an episode of Minority about Minority Report on there.
Shout out
Um,
Monica.
I'm actually
You're
going to
telling
be
me this
appearing.
box can count numbers?
I don't think it'll be out by the time this episode's out, but we will. I'm going to this week. I'm appearing on that again to talk about the movie Casablanca.
Ooh, man, that's one of my favorites. I love Casablanca.
I enjoy that movie. Yeah.
It's a beautiful film.
Uh,
In
it's
my
pretty
the way I
degenerate.
remember it, a guy giving up, accepting,
Did you
love
not
is not
notice the
his.
whole like trafficking aspect of like the whole
Watched it a long time ago.
yeah, I was gonna say there's a whole aspect of it where it's about like racketeering and shit and like and it's in Spooky Town in fucking in Morocco. I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah. Hey, I don't like cameras. I like to remember things the way I remember them.
I have to
Uh,
write an
uh,
FBI memo about it later.
Isn't that what he says in Lost Highway? I like to remember the things the way I, something like that, right?
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
be honest with you.
Damn, I got you now. You don't know
You
what
got
I'm
me.
talking about.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. We're not talking about. I don't really want to talk about Eyes Wide Shut because we're gonna do an episode on that eventually.
there's a
Obviously.
calculator in this box. That's fine. Do it. I'd like to win. Whatever he said. Sorry.
What movie you're
Uh,
talking about now? Lost Highway again?
no, I'm doing Kennedy, trying to understand
Oh,
fucking
okay. I
simulatics.
see. I see. I see. I
But
see.
we should
Yeah,
state
explain that.
the name,
Give me a thumbnail sketch of what that is all about.
the name of the company, the name of the outfit that was using. By the way, for folks, they've heard of Project Camelot, which is basically the Kennedy administration's like psychological profiling of the
Yeah, I would
whole
call it
of the United
psychological
States.
warfare aspect in order to
Yeah.
try to get worked, by the way. And they not only did they do the TV thing, so everyone knows this is like one of those things I know is an op because every boomer knows this factoid is that they did the debate between Nixon and Kennedy, and Kennedy is handsomer than Nixon, obviously. And on the people who watched it on television thought Kennedy won, and the people who listened on the radio thought Nixon won.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a boomer factoid you will get from every boomer you know,
And
and
if
which
you
means
get
it's an
through,
op, by the
and
way.
yeah, and also I heard it in public high school, which means
It's
they're not
really an
done.
op. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that shit. Um, I don't know how much. Let's see here. So,
I don't think there's
uh,
much understood about this, really. It's like,
its initial purpose was to predict communist insurgencies breaking out before they happened, which, Kennedy
how
finally
could you
said,
do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Usually, I mean, usually it's a coup that's started by the other arm on the intelligence monster.
Literally, yeah. They just get a memo the week before saying, "Hey, we're gonna do this. Is that cool with you?" Like, all right, we'll make it work. We'll get
Pretty
some guys
much.
in there.
So that's obviously a bullshit thing that was like written in the in the vocabulary of the time that it would seem like a thing that you might want to do. So what was its actual use for though?
It was used to track voter demographics and, biases and to better prepare uh the Kennedy administration for the upcoming election, which never came to be somehow.
I gotta tell you, I don't believe that you can use a computer at that time anyway. Maybe you
Hmm.
can now. Maybe you can't now. That's the real question. But maybe I don't think you could then, really. I think what this is instead is a little bit of predictive programming for everyone to, it sort of inoculates this idea into the
Uh,
American zeitgeist, the idea that computers will predict what you will do someday.
Not even that. Just
And then that appears in the 2001 film, worth mentioning too.
accept that those who are trying to you know, solicit your attention
Fealty,
or
political
feel,
fealty.
yeah, perfect. Who are trying to solicit your fealty, they're also trying to get ahead of you, and they're not particularly interested in you. They're just interested in swaying mass groups of you
Right.
into thinking the same wrong things, whether they be true or not. If they get you to, mm, this is where
Reach a desired end goal.
absolutely. I mean, after a certain point, when did they stop counting the votes, if they ever did, Scott,
I
is
don't
my
know. I don't know.
question.
I think they.
We'll
I
get into
actually.
that
I gotta
later.
tell you. I think they do count them, but they just have us engineered in such a way that they can just get whatever result they want. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like that's the thing. So
Of
you
course
said to
they
me right
count them.
before we started rolling. And maybe this is a good way to end too. But before we started rolling, you said to me like, "Ah, I just wish these spooks would just shut the fuck up sometimes."
Yeah.
And I was like, here's the thing. I said I'll save this for the show, and I'm saying it now. Every every aspect of culture, society, every little kernel that of what you hold to be the bedrock of society, a bedrock of reality, even ontologically true, is a carefully concocted piece of propaganda that was designed to ensnare you in its limitations and in its possibilities and bring you to a predetermined end goal. And they have ideas about groups of people, they have ideas of generations of people, and they have groups ideas about individuals. Now, with the advent of incredibly intelligent or advanced, I should say, computer technologies, now we can get into the granular level and actually have a fake person talk to you and steer you towards shit.
And assist in our schizo podcast research
That's the
endeavors.
now this is you bring up a really important question, Patrick. What I jokingly said it's me talking to angels like John D, but like how much of it is it just a telling me how much of it is it telling me true shit? How much of it is telling me stuff I want to hear? Because that's the libtard take on AI. I don't know if you've heard this, by the way. Is the libtard take is it's like a way to get people more sucked into capitalism because it's just tells you what you want to hear and it subtly influences you to just be more satiated with the worse and worse conditions that they consider to be inimical and endemic to late capitalism. Cute little term I like to use. By the
Late
way, it's
capitalism.
like it's about to end. It's late. It's getting late, guys. We gotta wrap this thing up.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm good with cap. I don't want to see what's next. I really don't.
I don't know that I'm good with it, but I think it's cute to have this like dispensational idea that it's going to end someday. But I was gonna say, um, oh,
Late
what?
capitalism,
No, 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 I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. But what I'm saying is, how much of it is it trying to get me? Are they just using this now to put me in a smart white guy box and go, look at you, Scott, you're gonna figure absolutely everything out, and you're not gonna get anything else done except creating an all-encompassing worldview that incorporates every aspect of para-political
I
thought.
yeah,
It's under one umbrella.
yes.
And
What
then
they count,
someday, when you're dead and no longer allowed to check to see if the domain name is still there, we'll erase it.
they are certainly appealing to this fatal flaw, this fatal, this thing about ourselves is that we are trying to find the truth here. We're trying to, you know, separate wheat from trash from
Chaff.
chaff. Um, as if that's the purpose,
Right.
like
But
because
conversely,
in the end we want to be right. I don't want to be right. I wish this was all wrong, and I wish everything was okay.
now
What they're
conversely,
counting on is us wasting our time and not applying anything that we've learned through our studies.
now where does this leave us with Stanley Kubrick?
Yeah, all right, we redirect Kubrick. Yeah,
Well, no, this is my question is where does
all
this
right.
leave us with Stanley Kubrick? Because Stanley Kubrick clearly knows a lot of the stuff we know now. And what did he choose to do with it? Well,
Go to hell.
yes, but I was just
I
gonna say
shouldn't
though,
say
is
that.
he made timeless
It's not
pieces
good.
of cinema that will be remembered for a very, very long time because while they're incredibly revelatory, all of them, they also are encoded heavily to the extent where only 1 or 2% of the audience is going to get what they're trying to say. And they've been checked and looked over by the people who allowed him to make these films, and they said, okay, this is fine. Stanley Kubrick, I believe, um, had demons, and I think they're expressed in the films. Um, Now, but what is the bargain he struck with himself is the question. And I think that again, as someone who probably believed in the film as a pseudo magical art form, he probably thought, well, at least I'm going to be leaving behind this time capsule of revelations,
Mm.
as whereas Scott and Patrick's and Williams podcast is going to be deleted when they're dead. Even if it got closer to the heart of the matter.
Yeah, no, yeah, it would take the nuclear holocaust to wipe out Kubrick's films.
Yeah.
We can disappear, in a flash. Um, some will remember us, but time will pass. Uh, you remember the question I asked you the other week, right? Uh,
What?
are these enactments, these rituals, these I don't even remember what it was in reference to. I just asked you, do these things that are acted out, do they contain and you do they contain any kind of spiritual
Genuine magic.
resonance?
Genuine magic. Or
Is there any, and you said I declined to answer. I cannot answer at this time, and I agree that's the correct answer, but it certainly seems like the people who create these things, who enact policy, who further the machinations of the world, they have big aspirations, and they seem to also have, if not totally absent, you know, spiritual views. Whether they either have no spiritual, ideology whatsoever, or they
it's
believe
really
in some
weird.
really fucking weird shit that does not bode well for the future.
Yeah.
Um, Kubrick, uh, what, you remember what he said about aliens? he was very open to it. It's the same kind of like
The nine theology, yeah, where it's like a beyond
this
time and space.
hopeful.
It's similar to
It'd be nice,
oh yeah, that too. I just thought you were gonna bring up the fact that like the idea that like they're non-physical entities they're beyond space and time and you have to like take drugs to meet them or
Oh,
something.
do you need the fucking government to tell you that already? Really? You nerd. No. There's also one other thing here that made me laugh. Uh, Kubrick attempted to win over Mo Rothman, an executive designated by the studio to oversee the production of uh, Dr. Strangelove. He gifted him a golf cart. Rothman refused the gift, telling Kubrick it was bad form. Which, I mean, I wonder if he just confused, he conflated Hyman Roth and Mo Green from The Godfather. He was like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
this guy's a big player. I might be able to win him over. It's like, no. Um, this is a guy who did not seem to gel with everybody that he interacted with, but he definitely had he was riding a wave that was not his own, at least for the
Yes.
at least for the 60s. And I mean, why Barry Lyndon though? That's that and going back to your earlier question,
I have to
why
see. I
did
haven't
they
seen
let
it.
exactly, yeah. And when you see it, you'll ask the same question. Why the fuck they let him make this? Over budget for what?
Well, wasn't it like not particularly revelatory other than like the
No.
themes, I guess?
No, it was very personal in
Why
that
wouldn't they just let him make a movie then? If he's made a shitload of money for them.
which I mean, for
And the
who?
ideological end goals too, obviously, in my opinion.
And Barry Lyndon was after his Napoleon,
Fiasco, yeah.
yeah, that whole thing, which is curious how he managed to get away with Barry Lyndon. It's not on the scale of Spartacus and its, grandiosity and the set pieces and so on, but uh, Napoleon would have been.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see a Napoleon film from Kubrick. That would have been amazing.
I'm sure it would have been
Jack
real
Nicholson
kosher.
as Napoleon. Are you kidding
Real
me?
kosher, though. It probably
Amazing.
wouldn't know the Napoleon story that I would tell. What he really did.
And what did he do, Scott? What did
He
Napoleon
handed
do?
Europe over, as far as I'm concerned.
Whoops.
But anyway,
Uh,
I don't know.
they
Where
gave
does
him an
that leave us?
island for his
Where does that
trouble.
leave us with Kubrick? I mean, that's the thing. The episode's ostensibly about Kubrick. I know we were talking mostly about people that are around him, but we weren't really talking about Kubrick. I do want to title the episode, Was Stanley Kubrick Connected to Intelligence? I think that's an obvious yes.
Without a doubt. Connected. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to name it How Was Stanley Kubrick Connected to Intelligence, but it's too clunky.
I mean, shit, dude. What's his Furwin? I really should get his name correct. His assistant
Oh, we
who,
didn't talk about the whole Operation Clockwork Orange thing, though. That's an interesting little thing. Can we
if you'd
take two
like
or three
to
minutes
hit
to
that
talk about
quick.
that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Clockwork Orange, I mean, obviously, was a big stink in the UK. It was pulled from theaters early. However, it had like an indelible cultural effect on the place, on the UK.
Mm.
Um, there's some interesting speculation on the part of the author, by the way, that he speculated that it was possible that they were like testing out extremely low frequency um, technology on the theater in order to cause people to go into mass panic, sort of real BCI type stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
they wanted him to direct The Exorcist, which is a film that is rife with those kinds of rumors that in the initial
yeah,
screenings people were losing their minds. Never seen anyone lose their mind over a film that way
right.
in
And
real
also, they
life.
could have just been full of shit too.
Very well, very, very likely, possibly.
In fact, I
Um,
think the author pulls an article from 20 years after the release of The Exorcist saying that like there's conflicting reports on it. In fact, or some of the people who said they had an episode watching the movie had gone home and then decided they had had an episode at the film. You know what I mean?
which
Kind of
is
thing.
even weirder. Uh,
No, it's called fucking paying someone off to say I
yeah,
had an episode of the film, so there's a news article about your movie and it
or
becomes a
they, or they had a very weird dream that night.
true. That's true. Yeah, there is
Mm.
subliminal stuff in that film, obviously. Yeah, I've only seen it on the
Anthony,
I've only ever seen it on the small screen too, and I gotta
sure.
be honest, it's a good movie, but like it doesn't have that like some people say like, oh, it's the scariest movie ever, and it isn't. It's
No,
not.
no,
It's just
get
not
out
to
of here.
me.
Frankly, I'm an Exorcist 3
Yeah, that
apologist.
one's weird.
That's
I've
a
seen it
very
once a long, long time
PTK
ago.
pilled, very, very
I
much
didn't
worth
know
a
about it
watch.
then, so. But
It's
anyway, I
worth a
really want
watch.
real quick want to talk
That's the
specifically
movie
related
that
to.
Dahmer would watch over and
Oh,
over
that's
again.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, during the filming of Barry Lyndon, notably was in Ireland
Hmm.
during the Troubles. Now, why would
Not initially.
yeah,
Not
that's
initially. It was in England, and then he gets a weird fucking threat from
threat
somebody
from the IRA,
about
which then he go
Clockwork Orange, not about Barry Lyndon.
yes.
And then he
So
moves to
let's just
Southern
lay this out
Ireland.
real specifically here.
Sure.
So he was shooting the film Barry Lyndon in the UK because he lives in the UK. Makes sense, right? Well,
Sure.
he gets a threat supposedly from the IRA, but that's kind of up for debates because there's conflicting accounts of that.
Anybody can
Um,
say they're from anywhere.
True, and also the other thing is that it was specifically related to A Clockwork Orange, the
Hmm.
film, which had not
Which
been
is,
out, which was not available for release in either the UK or Northern, at least Ireland. I don't know about the Republic of Ireland, but
yeah, he pulled it shortly after for release because of
because of
its,
the psyop that they're
yeah,
pulling there with the other thing is you know what? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. It's too lengthy.
we
Um,
will eventually.
Sure. Um, but regardless, so after this threat happens, he decides out of the fucking
Fucking blue.
blue that he wants to move the film to Ireland, which is embroiled in the troubles. Does this
Doesn't
sound like
tell the
something he would
studio.
do?
Doesn't tell the studio, just does it.
Yeah. I guess they had fiscal opportunities to do so, so there's
Yeah.
that. But regardless, it coincided with the MI5 slash MI6 joint operation. What was it called, Patrick?
Oh, you mean Operation Clockwork Orange?
Yes,
No, no.
Operation Clockwork Orange. Yeah,
That was
and
Operation Pelican or something.
no, it was called
That was a
Operation
different
Clockwork
thing.
Orange. Yeah, that's another thing that's
That's a
a
different thing.
predecessor to MK Ultra.
That's worth your
Fly
time, folks.
Pelican. But yeah, no.
No.
The so yeah, during this so why would so I ask myself why would Stanley Kubrick go to Ireland during the Troubles? He's a paranoid psycho and he's afraid of getting assassinated. It's probably the worst place one could go. It's concurrent with this psychological operation on the behalf of MI5, MI6, um, and in which, by the way, satanic allegations. It's very, very, very similar to the Phoenix program, which
Yeah,
is this
yeah.
shock and awe sort of make people genuinely afraid of various
The
factions
the
within this
Ra.
internecine conflict,
Yeah, yeah.
and sort of give this impression amongst the general populace that
That
these guys weren't good Catholic boys; they were Satan worshippers and
hmm
stuff,
yeah.
and to a very theatrical level. Now we have declassified documents on this, and like, yeah, they indeed constructed sort of Mirage Men style constructed fictionalized satanic black mass altars and stuff, and allowed also very Phoenix program style they allowed like people general population to discover this stuff
Hmm.
and sort of get this rumors spread amongst. Now what is Kubrick's role in this? I don't know that there is one per se, but I'll say that during this time period, he was doing a lot of traveling naturally between, not him so much, but there was a lot of travel going on between the UK and Ireland. And given that he was like almost a special guest of the Republic of Ireland, likely they were given carte blanche as far as visa requirements, sort of moving luggage and stuff like that, particularly as it relates to filmmaking, because everybody knows Kubrick massively secretive, and he did indeed work out agreements with the Irish government that he could like move all his stuff back and forth without being like molested by customs. What am I speculating here? I don't know. I don't know that there's any direct reason to believe that any impropriety went on. However, during this whole time period, Kubrick was in a multi-year dispute with the UK government over his taxes, which did resolve in his favor after this time period ended. So just saying, it's a little interesting detail that Operation Clockwork Orange, which involved theatrical mind control, perhaps techniques similar to the Phoenix program, was implemented in Ireland at the same time that Kubrick was able to move things between UK and Ireland very stealthily, and also it's just weird. Am I wrong to say that? I think not. Um,
No.
yeah,
You'd be stupid not to say that this is all very weird.
yeah. But I think we're wrapping it up here. I think I've said enough here. I think I will say this. This book. So shouts out. I don't remember the author's name, but Minotaur, Stanley Kubrick Odyssey. Um, and it put me on a couple episodes that we're gonna have to launch outwards from this one. Obviously, I want to do one on more on the Black Dahlia surrealism stuff. Perhaps we'll get Black back on for that. I want to do an episode on the Puharich guy. We didn't even talk about him. This guy
Oh man.
created MK Ultra and then created the New Age movement.
Oh,
And created Star Trek theology too, by the way.
and it gets worse yet. There's a book, The Last Closet, I believe that was written about
Is
a
R. Kelly in it?
he might make an appearance. It's about a contemporary and mentor of Andrea Puharich, name of
Uh,
Walter Breen, gentleman who was
that name sounds familiar.
he was instrumental in the field of numismatics, study of coin collecting.
Coins, I was gonna say, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
I
bad
thought it was
dude. I
numismatics.
Numismatics, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough word
That's a
to
weird word, yeah.
yeah,
Either way,
to
let's not let's
I rec
so I want to do that. I want to do the Black
let me
Dahlia. Yeah, all right, all
recommend
right.
The Last Closet, The Dark Side of Avalon by Moira, Moira, Greyland, Greyland. It's about uh very, very familiar topics that
Cool.
Andrea
And then so yeah, I
Puharich
want to do the
brings up.
Star Trek episode. I want to do a Black Dahlia episode, and then the of course the Eyes Wide Shut episode. I will say this: I'm not looking forward to seeing that film again. I
No,
kind of don't like watching it.
no,
It's not even like that dark. It's just so
no.
much yucky sex stuff in it. I don't want to
You
look
know
at
what I
that
like
stuff.
to do? I do
Like
listen to the
even the scene between
soundtrack.
a married man and his wife, the sex scene between them,
Sure. Yeah,
is
because it's
grody as fuck.
well, it's everything
I
that
know it's
is
supposed to.
suffocating it. It's
Speaking of
suffocating.
which, that sex scene in the beginning of Lost Highway, where Bill
Mm,
Pullman's like so clearly in love with this woman, and she couldn't be less into it.
sucked. Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
like it.
it's
Make me
so
feel
awkward.
good.
Ugh, ugh. Just thinking about it right
Kept
now,
looking at
going,
my lady
ugh.
like, "Do you love me? Is this what it feels like? Is this what I look like? Is this what I look like? A fool?" Um, yeah, yeah. That's
Anyway,
a
so yeah, we got a few episodes launching out of this one. So I hope you enjoyed the ride. I hope you were informed by it. I hope you didn't think it was not Kubrick centric enough. I think it was. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
www.
You don't think you don't think this Kubrick centric enough? Go watch any of his movies with
I
any of this
know,
in your head.
really.
Go
So
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead. See how
You
you like it.
can't not. Okay, www.historyhomos.com for the RSS feed. We're also available on iTunes, YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, Rockfin, and the most importantly, plugged it many times, but historyhomospod.substack.com. So much supplemental information and episodes on there that are very important for you to understand any of this stuff. So please get over there and subscribe. We're having a good year this year. Please help us out. We're really trying to get up there, guys. I'm not like bitching or nothing, but like, why is Curtis Yarvin the top of fucking Substack, man? He's rich enough. His dad was one of the United States diplomats. He's good. You don't need to give him more money. Give him to us
He'll be
instead.
okay. Yeah.
I can't tell you how much work we do for this stupid show. It's crazy.
Meanwhile, the mold bug is over here just creating
gold bug. But
Kubrick
yeah, no,
was a gold bug.
He was a gold bug. But what's it called? So yeah, there's 2 episodes a week, including this one, the free one and the bonus episode. It's a full episode. Real information from the episodes, not just us going, so this guy made a weird face at me at work the other day. Yeah, it's not that.
I haven't shit in 3 days.
Dude, flying on a plane sucks. I hate driving and flying to gigs.
Oh, God.
Every podcast. Anyway, so yeah, please go check us out there. Please help support the show. It makes us do more stuff like this. www.historyhomospod.substack.com. Please go check that out. Also available. I said all that stuff, but I was going to say, at time of recording, still the friendliest place on the internet, on our Telegram chat, t.me/historyhomos is the channel. t.me/historyhomos chat is the chat. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you'd like to buy a t-shirt, please email me your size and address at historyhomos@gmail.com. Sorry, guys. It's all in the descriction. But
It's
also,
all in the description. If you're on Telegram,
if
if you're on Telegram and you don't, want to get into the mix with things, join the Telegram group, go to the sidebar and hit links. There's a lot there to learn. There's a lot there to peruse.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's
quite
true.
A lot.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it for folks who might be curious and might be, just wanting to bump into new things they might not have yet. Definitely worth your time. Yeah. Check out the Telegram.
And so follow us across social media at History Homos Pod. Die with dignity. Patrick, what would you like to say to close out the episode? Because I'm about to go eep.
Just a mild paraphrase from Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
With a cigar like this, I felt like I'd have a pretty good weekend in Dallas.
Later, homos.
Whispers through Venetian blinds, bacchanal candles gutter in the rain, smoky rooms drive memos like a prayer in vain. Mockingbirds sing in the copper wire, typewriter teeth bite down on a choir, footsteps echo under marble floors, every oath the key to hidden doors, maps on the wall, pins like constellations, names crossed out in black coagulations. Jets and paper crowns of light, Dallas shadows lengthen out of sight, briefcase hearts with double lock beats, cut out smiles on diplomatic